as usual.
As
Uh,
usual.
hello. Welcome to today's live stream. I have zero people here, so I'm just basically saying hello to Amartya, which I already did before we started the live stream. Oh, we have three
Uh,
people. Please reveal yourselves. None of me and Amartya are on YouTube, so I don't think we count
yeah, we are
as the
not.
three
Yeah, yeah,
people. Okay.
yeah.
But if you are there and if you want to reveal yourselves, then please do and let us know if you've watched any of these films, all of these films. What have you done? Hi, Chris. Hi, Devulina. We have our two regulars. Glad to
Yes.
meet you guys after what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks of absence. 2 weeks
Uh,
of, I think, quite welcome absence on
yes.
on just this whole like it's been one of those. It's good to do. Actually, we might end up doing
See,
this if this is something which
see. Here's
people
the thing.
like more.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. This
Hi,
month has
Arvind. How
been
are you?
a
Yeah.
this month has been a, to be very polite, shit show. With regards to overall releases of films also,
Mm,
this month has been overall a shit show only. क्योंकि
yeah.
मुझे सोचना पड़ रहा था कि किस चीज के बारे में बात करें. That is the bigger point
Yeah,
here.
no, which is I think which is why I think it's useful when we get like these bunches of like I think this type of episode is actually it's fun for me to do even though it can become
Exhausting.
unwieldy considering how unwieldy we get otherwise in like singular film episodes. So much has happened in the. Please fill us in, Devulina. I've been
Please fill us
totally
in.
absent.
We are very nonchalant
I've
and
to
completely
been
absent from the world.
I have to been horrible even with watching stuff. I've missed so much stuff. I've got so much stuff to watch. I watched one and a half. Didn't get the time to finish Berlin. Okay, that's
Understandable also.
understandable. I'm glad that you did it. I think you missed watching the best film, easily the best film of the three. I think, and that I think the only good one for me. I guess like good as in terms of just how which I will recommend for people to
I'm just
watch.
I'm already coming off of an extremely bad and pointless horror movie. So it's like
Oh yeah, I saw
very
you logged something, right?
yes,
So yeah.
yes, it's an
By
assignment.
Sector 36 as in
Because that was
Stevelina.
a that was an empty Friday, and people, and that is the one movie which came out which people were very excited about.
I mean,
So
I think one of the things which is interesting about this live stream is I think I'm interested in all three of these films ostensibly from just subject matter and what they're about. Like I don't think any of this is like I think this is the only reason which is why I watch them because I'm like inherently interested in these. Like I didn't
hmm,
have to push myself to watch any of them for the episode.
yes,
Emmys happened, which I am totally out of the loop of. Amartya, you
I am
probably are
more or
more in.
less in the loop, but I am not interested.
The Bear
That's a
won a lot, right? And Shogun won everything, is what I
Shogun
read.
won everything, which is like,
Hmm.
yeah, it should.
Hmm.
Okay, then.
And what about limited series and all that? Limited series Bear? No,
Ripley, I
that's
think,
the.
Ripley, I
Oh,
think
Ripley
got
won.
best cinematography. Ripley got.
Which is the selling point of the show, I would say. Like, it's a very good show, but I think that thing is.
That
The
Elsewit cinematography is
Yeah.
like god tier level. Like
Hmm.
that cinematography pushes that show to another level only.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm
Any
just going to
flaw which
type here. We are discussing what we have missed in the comments for whoever else joins. One second. Whatever we missed. Anyways,
and why don't I check my
replayed
diary anyway? Because that is the only time I'm very regular about anything at this point. Like मेरा letterbox का diary.
letterbox.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Then
Yeah.
you've still kept up. I know you slowed down relative to your level, but I've
Yeah.
slowed down relative to my level. Then, but
Ah,
Ripley.
I saw two TIFF movies, out of which one of them I genuinely loved.
Which
So
one?
that's good. There is a movie called Shepherds,
Okay.
which hear this. Okay, this is the log line of
Is
Shepherds.
this gonna ever release? Which is the other question.
It should. It is very good.
Okay.
The logline of Shepherds is one banking executive decides that he has enough of corporate life and he moves from Canada to the Alp to France to become a
This sounds
farmer.
like Delinquents. Yeah, that Argentinian movie.
नो नो डेलिंक्वेंट्स तो कुछ और ही था. ये कुछ और
Okay.
नहीं है.
Sure.
This is like if Imtiaz Ali had it, he would have made it tamasha. Imtiaz Ali doesn't have it.
You know what?
He's
The weird Imtiaz Ali connection. Ishwak Singh
Ishfaq
from
Singh,
Berlin
yes.
is in a blink and miss moment in Tamasha.
Rockstar
He
or Tamasha?
plays
Tamasha. Yeah, yeah.
Tamasha, yeah. He literally just plays the fiance who
Hmm.
Deepika Padukone meets in Heat to Badi Saade and then just moves
Hmm.
away from him, which is what they should have done with Rahul Bose in
Yes.
Berlin. Anyways, wondering what
Wow,
happened to the
wow.
founder of Quid. There are many founders of
There
Quid.
are many founders. You have to specify.
Neither of us are those.
Neither of us are the founders.
We are
We are
just the
the
ones
ones
who've
carrying the
bombarded
baton for
it.
some reason. We are the
I don't
ones
know why.
carrying the baton for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah. It's poetic, right? Because Queen is dead, whatever. The people who
Queen
founded
dead
it
hai,
are.
founders bhi chale
Exactly.
gaye. So it's like we
I
are
mean,
the
they'll
ones.
come back. I know Sanjeet has been busy, Arvind, with shooting. Like, I don't want to say which shooting, but he's shooting stuff
Hmm.
in all
He
senses
has a
of
job.
the. You
He's one
also
of the
you have a job.
no, he is the legitimate person within the film connection thing. Like somebody asked me on WhatsApp today because I was
Hmm.
extremely like ranting about this, Oscar selection thingy, and they were like
Oh, yeah.
not like picking on me or whatever. But he's like,
Hmm.
before we engage in this conversation, I would like to ask: are you a cineast, a film scholar? Are you a film production? Are you a person involved in film production, or have you seen Lapata Ladies? I'm like the fact that the film
I
production
also
thingy
got
was
stick for
option one.
this. Hmm. I
Film
mean, I didn't
production thing
express.
was
Hmm.
option one. So I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
ooh, you were
But
expecting that.
I think it's which is fair. Like, I mean, I guess it's, I don't know when. I guess we've talked about this before, that there's a difference between. So I think the way Sanjeet will look at films will be much different to how Amartya and me will, because he works in them.
Yeah,
I
son,
think there's a general.
didn't he say in one of those live streams
Yeah,
ki,
in one of those things
yeah,
we had done. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
he is like for him to get excited about a movie is a very big thing now, at least,
I
because
actually think he gets like about the movie, but he's bound to be more intrigued by technical elements, right? Because
yes, yes.
considering he's also his job, but he is. I try and not remember that that film exists, Evelina. So I don't remember this. Sorry.
Oh
Uh,
no, no, but I was talking about Shepherds, another very good
yes, the
movie. Just
Shepherds is a
the Shepherds,
Toronto International Film
National
Festival
Film
movie,
Festival release movie.
where Lapata Ladies premiered last year too. Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
We are connecting everything. See, Uh,
of
much better than
course.
the Oscars committee did. But anyway, let's go. So
Why are we taking them seriously? But okay, yeah.
everybody else is.
No, no, why are we taking? I understand that they are an institution of importance in the conscience for the general public, but they, as cineasts, who cares? Like, for them. Like, I either told you we treat it as sport. It's good, like, fun. For me,
No,
it's like, who wins and all
I
that. But
think
anyways.
for people who are like foreign movies which are being sent to
Yeah.
other countries, which by the way I have decided after watching Screen Daily ka website ki I might just check out all of the movies that are being currently submitted for
Listed?
the,
Hmm.
yeah, currently being
Submitted, sorry, not listed. Because there's.
submitted.
So for whoever's unaware, and sorry to finish your thing about shepherds after this,
Yeah,
I think this whole thing, the submissions thing itself is a big deal. Like, it's just one film of gazillions that are made,
Brazilian.
of course,
So
and then from then there's a shortlist, then there's another shortlist, and then there are the nominations. So there's
yes,
like
so
a huge
it's a
process.
huge thing. So currently after, and Arvind has already written in the chat,
Yes.
currently with Lapata
एंट्री है
Ladies,
सर, वो उसके बाद नॉमिनेट होएगा वो नहीं पता, बट या
uh,
एंट्री तो है,
currently
इंडिया
with
का तो सही
Lapata Ladies in as India's entry for international
इंडिया
feature,
से एंट्री, या.
there are around 60 movies which have already been submitted for consideration in the international feature nomination. If
Yeah.
people want to follow which movies are there, there is a website called Screen Daily which is regularly updating which movies are being sent. So
The
you can
screen
follow
daily
it.
people can also promote
Sponsor
us.
us. Yes.
I don't care about sponsor, but promote our thing, whatever,
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
Yes. Which is fascinating because like if while I was looking at it, I am also surprised ki a lot of those movies are already available.
Hmm.
Uh, a
Oh,
lot of them.
okay.
A lot
Nice.
of them are already available. Yeah.
Hmm. And I think
Many
it's
of
a
them are
whole
still
issue
not.
also, right? Where a lot of the movies from 2023 or sometimes even 2022 might
Yeah,
actually
they
get
are
a.
being resubmitted. Yeah.
Yeah, so all that stuff is also there. So
Like
yeah,
Godland got submitted last year from Iceland,
last
right?
year, yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
So that was a thing. Anyway, so
Anyways,
before we
to
get into the
first the good
Lapata
things
ladies,
about, yeah, first about feathers.
shepherds.
Shepherds, sorry,
Yeah,
shepherds.
yeah.
Lord, I have a Ghajini issue here. Consider no,
No,
it was
no.
the opposite of a Ghajini issue, but whatever.
The
Yeah.
thing about shepherds is ki it has almost everything you would expect from a quote unquote Bollywoodized version of this story. Like
Okay.
he goes to a administrative office and falls in love with the clerk there. She
Hmm.
listens to his impassioned speech and goes to the farm, leaves her job, goes to the farm to join him.
Hmm.
But almost immediately after, the movie is like balancing both the romantic notion of farming as well as
Hmm.
the reality of farming. It is
Nice.
balancing that very well,
Hmm.
and which is why even as the movie feels like it is trying to tie everything up into a neat little bow,
Hmm.
it's so like leisurely paced and so heartfelt about it, while also
Yeah.
not being schmaltzy, that you are going to like it anyway. Again, if
What language is
you
this?
I think it's French.
French. Okay.
It's French, and
Amartya,
I
you're
think
starting to like French films. Are you worried about it?
I am
About
very
this?
worried about it. I'm very, very worried about it.
Yeah. It's
I'm
always a
very
sign
worried.
of worry for me also. I'm like,
Yes.
am I okay in
Yes.
my life? Well, I know the
Um,
answer to that, but like still, like in
we are
terms of
not
movie
okay
watching,
anyway. It's like, but now the warning signs are very clear. So,
I
yes.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, before we get into the whole Lapata ladies thing, and we'll stick to it because we have our amazing Mr. Varun joining us for the Berlin discussion, and we'll decide how much time we spend on Sector 36, which I have very negative feelings about.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely discuss Rebel Ridge. We'll try and skirt around spoilers in all these films a little. No, not Sector 36 in Berlin, but in Rebel Ridge, I guess, because maybe, but weirdly enough, that's probably the most watched out of all these films. Anyways, we'll see. We'll see how to
Sector
navigate
26
this.
is also very much
Both
watched.
Netflix, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anyways,
Hilarious also, which all the distributors should realize. A movie like His Three Daughters, which just came out,
yeah,
lots of people are watching that movie, by the way. Like, I
yeah.
haven't seen it. I got recommendations from other people who are like normal people who come back from their jobs, like doctors and everybody, who are like messaging me. I saw His Three Daughters. Have you seen that? I'm
You
like,
want to cry in movies, so
yes.
yeah.
I'm
So
like, okay then.
it's weirdly I don't want to say comfort watch, but it's an easy watch given the subject matter also is that
Yeah, yeah.
strenuous. But anyways, we won't talk about that. We have another separate episode planned as like the female
Counter to
counterpart, I
this.
guess,
Yes.
to this
Yes.
very male centric episode,
Yes.
in which I
To be
think we should
very
have
honest,
female
yes,
guests.
yes,
So
exactly. If we talk about that in that episode majorly, we are
yeah.
screwed.
Lapata Ladies also is one of them. So it's Lapata Ladies, All We Imagine as Light, which Amartya got to watch recently
Hmm.
via screener. None of us has any files on hand to share
Yes,
to
please
anyone.
do not ask.
So
I beg
screener
of you, do not
links,
ask.
yes. Now
That's
everyone will. Now the renewed interest will start in All We Imagine as Light because it got snubbed, right? So
yes.
by
Do not ask.
incompetent in
Like Twitter,
the yeah.
everybody in Twitter is saying why. Arey, if all we imagine
पहले
us like
देख
is
लो
that good.
picture.
Yeah,
First see the movie.
everybody is like, all we imagine us like, if it is that good, why didn't France not send it? I'm like, because France sent Emilia Perez. Thoda research karo, please, for the
Okay.
love of Christ.
Yeah, but France also has a very strange. They do very strange submissions all the time. Last year they didn't send What Anatomy.
Yeah,
They sent
I
Taste of
think
Things, which didn't get
they didn't
anything.
send test. Yeah, they did send test of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
So
sent test of things only, right? Yeah, that's what they did, and
they have a
nothing happened to
weird
that.
thing also. Anyways, why would they
Why
send? I would not
Germany?
imagine.
Why? What about Germany? Seed of the Sacred Fig is through Germany, which I understand because
Yeah,
the director is banned from Iran.
exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's a shoe in though for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
getting in. That is
yeah.
effing getting
Even
in.
Emilia
No,
Perez seems like a shoe in considering how big of a
sure.
deal it is.
I'm going to hate that movie
Anyways,
so bad.
well, musical, hai na?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm going to hate that movie so
uh,
much.
but anyways, on to the whole Lapata ladies. Oscar thing. Yeah, you were saying you had to say a lot. I was less. I don't think it's
No,
that
no.
bad thing to
I
submit.
have
I
a
don't care for the movie that much, but
I have
whatever.
I
That's
don't
another
I
thing.
care in as much ke it is good. That was my
Yeah.
reaction when I had come out of the theater. I'm
Hmm.
maintaining that reaction. It is a good movie. Does it
Yeah.
need to be an Oscar nominated movie representing our country? Not really.
I
But
feel so, but what I would say is my justification for it is a smarter thing to put this than Chelo. What was the movie's name last year, which got above RRR?
Arey, wo, what is the name of that movie?
Chelo
Arey, that
show, right?
Gujarati
Something
movie.
like that.
Yeah, yeah, the Cello Show, last film show, Gujarati
Last
movie
film
directed
show.
by Pan Nalin, which I jokingly termed as Cinema Paradiso for India.
Cinema.
But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It is. No, but I never watched it. But my point is
decent movie.
the. I've heard you guys said it was pretty good, right? So
Mhm.
it's no for me. This makes sense on a PR level. Lapata ladies.
Oh,
Uh,
100%. Yeah, yeah.
as in, it's
100.
not a dumb-headed decision to send this. I think Chilo Show would
And
have
it's not a
never
bad movie.
gotten
And
in.
it's not
Is
a
my
bad
thing.
movie overall if you think about. Look,
Sure.
let
Yeah.
let us
It's a
let
crowd
us
pleaser.
let us reveal something. The
Hmm.
long list of all the Indian movies which would have been sent for consideration that consists of masterpieces like Article 370, which okay, Animal,
You
which
have
I
to
had a mini
represent
heart attack,
India.
which I had a mini heart attack upon seeing that name.
Listen, I admire the confidence. What else can I say? I wish
Animal,
I had that confidence.
live action version of Chota Bheem. Instead of Brahma
Really?
Yugam, yeah, the long list
Oh, they
had
didn't say,
live.
but Brahma Yugam
No,
to pointless है भेजना. They are
अरे तो
horrible with
कौन सा
horror.
अरे तो कौन सा
हाँ.
पॉइंटफुल है छोटा भीम कौन सा
नहीं
पॉइंटफुल है
नहीं pointful नहीं है. That's also true. Um,
चंदू चैंपियन was in the long list ठीक है
again, crowd pleasers are
मैदान was
easy sells, no?
मैदान was in the long list जोरम was in the long your favorite Sam Bahadur was in the long list so it's like yeah
Listen. No, 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 no. That is not getting. Yeah.
yeah so you
Yeah.
understand no but the bigger issue I had is Autumn was in the long list so here's my
You could have pushed with that. Yeah.
you could have pushed for that. Now, here's my take. The short list, the final five, that is the short list. It had Lapata Ladies, Ulozoku, which Devi
I've
was
still not
very.
seen Devi has really raved
Devi
about it,
was
right? Yeah.
like praising its flowers for it. I need to see
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
Thangalan, which I really need to see.
That's
Vazai,
Paranjit, is it?
Paranjit's Thangalan.
Yeah.
Vazai, which is Mari Selvaraj's new movie, which many people have called a masterpiece of
Okay.
this year. Like it
Yeah.
is damn good apparently.
Yeah.
And the Rajkumar Rao movie called Srikanth, which is so
You've
there
seen
are
it?
five. No, I don't
No,
care.
okay.
Also, so there are five movies. These are the five out of the short list. Out of those five, any of the three, movies, one Tamil, one Tamil, and two Malayalam, those were much better choices. Keep in mind, I'm not even bringing All We Imagine Is Light into this conversation. That's a separate conversation altogether.
I think people are most pissed about that only, right? Isn't it?
I think that's a wrong. I think that's a wrong point to make. Also, ठीक है.
Yeah. Firstly,
If it
I
is-
think prejudgment. Firstly, you watch the movie and see it. I think it's much more suited to European tastes. I don't think
Yeah.
Oscars would even give it much ghas, whatever that means. Only
to be
advantage
fair-
is that
to be fair,
the Cannes
look,
thing.
yeah. The Cannes win should have worked in its favor, and considering that it has US distributor as Gianna's
Yes.
Films is US distributor,
Yes.
like if you were worried about the lobbying and everything about it, which
Yeah.
let us be very clear, Lapata Ladies got selected also because Amir Khan has experience lobbying for his movies because
Yeah.
of Lagan. So
Yeah.
it is easier on that front. But
Yeah.
if you were really worried about that, you could have just pushed All We Imagine Is Light into it.
Yeah.
Because
I think that's the whole argument only.
Mhm.
Which, yeah. I mean, I
because of the
don't know,
backing
it's
and
weird.
everything.
I just
And
don't
for
see
the people,
it. Yeah.
and for the people who were bringing up, because there were many bots who were bringing this up,
Yeah.
All We Imagine as Light, liberals are extremely angry because All We Imagine as Light is not selected, and liberals are angry at Lapata Ladies being selected. If All We Imagine as Light is so good, why didn't France send it? If All We Imagine as Light is so good, why isn't India sending it?
There's hundreds of films which
So
there's a whole
France
politics.
did,
There's a politics behind it also, right? So
the politics behind it is number one. Number two, France can't send it because, if I'm not mistaken, there is a stipulation in which I think the country who is sending it, they should have at least 80% of the production the responsibility
happen.
within it.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
that
This
is the
is a much
stipulation.
more co-distributed in terms of a lot of
Yeah.
people put in.
That's a
Okay,
stipulation. I think that is why
sure.
France couldn't send it.
Hmm.
Maybe. And also because Emilia Perez has Selena Gomez in it.
Big
I'm pretty
names,
sure.
huge names, also won at
Selena,
Cannes. So
yeah, Selena
it's not
Gomez and
a
Zoe Saldana in it. So of
yeah,
course they are going to send that.
yeah. I
Should India
also
have sent? Should India have
hmm,
sent All Imaginers Light? Yes, I suppose so. Because if India had sent it, we might have got a chance of it being actually nominated. Because you know what? If you had to select a populist movie for your Oscar, the ideal time would have been last year, when Triple
yes.
R was at a rage.
It's very. I know. I think Chris is really not a fan of RRR, and a lot of people are very. We are
Quality
talking
of the movie,
more than
quality of the movie
quality.
notwithstanding, quality of the
I
movie
mean, I like
notwithstanding,
the
I'm
movie.
not
I'm not
going.
going to shy away
Mhm.
from that also. But like in
And I'm
terms of
not
how
going
it's
to pick
made,
a fight. And I'm not going to pick a fight with Asim Chabra about the quality of the movie. I don't care either way. But
like,
you get the
but
idea. Yeah.
that's like to us. I think we're talking more about the viability of pushing it for nomination, like
If
for an
last
actual
year,
nomination, not a
if
submission.
last year Triple R had been pushed, and if last year Triple R had gone into the best
They would have
international
won
feature,
because Zone of Interest
they
anyways
would have
won a
won.
bunch of shit, right?
Zone of interest won a lot. Triple R would have
Yeah,
won. Triple R would have
yeah,
swept it. I'm not even kidding. It,
yeah.
it that was the ideal time. And this year you had a Cannes Film Festival winner in your arsenal, and you
Hmm.
didn't choose it. You This year you thought, let's go populist,
But
let's
it's
go
not that
sanitize.
populous. Also, it's not like Lavata Ladies did very
Yeah,
well.
keh
It
rahe ho
did
sir.
well. It did
Yeah, keh rahe
well,
ho
but
sir.
it didn't do
Everybody
like
saw
there's a
it. Everybody saw it
by
at this point.
everybody saw it. You mean the limited number of champions of the film saw it, right? Not. I don't think it like you can't reach an RRR level of audience. Is my point.
You can. It's
With
on
Lapata
Netflix.
Ladies.
Lapata Ladies is
Uh,
on Netflix.
when it released, I'm saying, like in terms of, and it has
Yeah,
reached probably zero audience compared to RRR in America, which is the other thing, because
yeah,
RRR
exactly.
exploded there. Here, India ke liye Lapata Ladies did explode whatever it did, but like when it, I don't know if it has any name or thing outside
I also
of
think I
India.
also think there is a bigger question ki people are being pissed off about All We Imagine is like not going. There is a bigger question. The question is, it won at Cannes, good for them, but what would have been the reaction if it actually released on America? Would people have actually liked it?
I think people would have liked it. It's just not a American-ish film. To me, it's
It
closer in
isn't.
spirit to
100%.
slow cinema. So I mean, I'm
It's
like,
close.
whenever
It's European. It's European movie. It's art house. It's European art house. To be very
yeah,
honest with you,
it's
and
it's
this is
not
coming from someone.
dour. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
dour or anything. But like it's
It's
compared to her last film,
beautifully shot.
especially.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
beautifully shot. It's
yeah.
impeccably, constructed by sound design. Impeccable. It's like insanely how well the sound design is insane.
Yeah.
But it's
Maybe it
also,
probably gets one of those isolated, technical. Nowadays they do that, right? They start
yeah.
giving out
I also
awards,
think
technical stuff.
it's also
So
like it's so meditative and lyrical in its approach, especially in the
yeah,
second half.
I
That
yeah,
Yeah,
I just
I'm
think
not even going into details. I'm not even
the
going into
worst,
details.
yeah, the worst I think omission was Lunchbox. Like when we
Yes,
decide no, that's the perfect synthesis of Oscar friendly and artsy, but not alienating to either
not
of. It's
alienating.
got it's that
I
that
don't
thing.
think
Anyways, I've
I
got a
don't
bunch
think
of
all we
comments here,
imagine
which
is I don't think all we imagine is light could have alienated the audience. I don't think it would
it
have been
wouldn't have,
bad.
but it's still too. You know, Pacing
Its
is too.
lens,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
its
I love the
lens, its
pacing, but I know that
lens,
it's yeah.
its lens overall, like both
Hmm.
of the halves, the lens overall, how Kabadia is shooting it. I think it
Huh.
is very unfamiliar to general
Yeah,
American
I
audience as
joked
well
that
as the
people,
critical approach. Yeah.
I joked Oscar voters will sleep while watching it. So,
Oh,
which I
100%.
think will happen.
100%. Anyway, they're filled with old fogies. As for why it did
Exactly.
not go, Chris's comment is absolutely valid. The activism played a big role into it.
Yeah.
Kapadia's own activism played a big role into it, because this is India. We are a petty nation. We can't do anything about it at this point.
हाँ, वो movies के बारे में तो specially petty हैं for some reason. So
बहुत
you know
petty है,
that's हाँ
बहुत petty है. I have
हाँ
been hearing new things now from legit sources कि if a movie has international acclaim, apparently that is a big no-no for the Federation of India, and
can't
that
be.
is why those movies are not
I,
going to get chosen. Which I'm
I
like, that is
will
the stupidest
happily
thing I've heard. That is the
yeah,
stupidest thing I've ever
I will
heard. Yeah.
happily defend some Bollywood stuff, but this is like a ginormous pile of nonsense argument
Yeah,
that
yeah,
because it has international acclaim, it's somehow not like Indian enough or whatever. That's
yeah.
garbage.
It's the
But
same
any
sort of. It's the same sort of, over the top, regionalist attitude which plagued a lot of famous filmmakers. Also, I bring up Ray. I bring up Kurosawa.
yes,
Yeah, Ray and
yeah.
Kurosawa were all similarly, like, lambasted for this. Yeah,
Well,
hundred
we have
percent.
cricket, no, to compensate in that sense. Anyways, I again, awards is too little important. Like I think of little importance in the grand scheme of things. I understand its significance with the general
People's
public and
anger I
everyone.
get. People's
Hmm.
anger I get, because even if we don't care about the Oscars, and genuinely speaking, we
No,
shouldn't
they're
care about the
big. They're a
Oscars.
big
Yeah,
institution. They're
but
big importance to
there
like people
is a
watch
matter
films
of
sometimes
exposure.
when they won Oscars. Yeah, yeah,
There is a
absolutely.
matter of exposure here. So this is
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
can't do
Anyways,
anything
I have a
about
bunch of comments I want to highlight, and then we can start talking about the films. Anyways, how is I quite like it, Debulina. It has a third act shift which alienates both me and Amartya
it. Yes.
significantly. I think it's
Completely,
got
completely
yeah,
pulls me out of the movie.
yeah. Though three, I would say one like
We
you
are
one
witnessing,
performance which you can nominate anywhere.
we have seen literal nomination worthy performances. Winning
Yeah,
whether or not, that's a debate.
out of which one of them is very like putting itself out for the awards. That's the character also, which is Carrie Coon's character. But then
She
there's
has
the
got the choicest dialogues, by the way. What a
she was very
performance.
cruel.
What a performance. That
Anyways,
Jesus
all
Christ.
three. I think if you're into this sort of
Natasha Leon. Natasha Leon. I
she's
never expected her to be this subtle. She is
she's asked to be,
restrained.
but I
She's
mean, her voice is a
restrained. Yeah.
marvel. I think so. Just
Yeah.
to listen to that voice, I think I can watch. Anyway, but yeah, do watch it. I think it's what 1 hour 40 minutes. It's if you're into this sort of melodrama. I won't even say it's that much of a melodrama, but or drama that turns into a
It's a
melodrama.
family drama which is almost structured like a play.
Play, yeah.
So if you are interested in those sort of stuff, do watch it. I think
Yeah,
it's quite
I'm sort of a little distant from the sirf like when it only focuses on performances, but I was very much drawn by the performances in this. So
yeah.
and it's well written for the most part. I think until it's very weird what it does in the
Until
We won't
Azazel
spoil
Jacobs
it.
decides, we are going to
Go
spell everything out
Hollywood.
for you. We are going
I'm
to go
like,
full Hollywood. I'm like, why?
why? You just literally said a second before that
Yes,
that is
you
the whole
were
point of the movie.
you were lecturing us about the importance of silence, and then you did not go silent.
You
What
went
is wrong
totally
with
loud.
you?
I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Anyways, thank you, Devulina. I hope this is a compliment and not that you're laughing with us and not at us. But even at us is fine at this point, I think.
हाँ,
As long as
हम
it's
दोनों तो
Chota,
जोकर ही है.
as long as Chota Bheem had no chance of.
Listen, the fact that
We can only
anyone
hope.
was even considered for a long list. We are not serious people. I am quoting from Succession. We are not
So
serious people.
So I think I do really need to check this out. So I think
Mhm.
I've heard Devi had said a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
Glad it. I think this is for RRR. It's still the discourse because of this. What Devulan was mentioning is anyway is explosive, right, Chris? So it's not like you're in a safe
That's
zone
such a,
regarding that.
that was such. You are talking. People are angry about this. All we imagine as light ka blunder. Triple R ka blunder was a massive blunder. That is one of the worst
That
blunders.
would have of nomination, yes, but if it did get
Yeah.
nominated and win, you would have had absolute. I would assume Chris would have also joined that, like
Yes.
absolutely torn it apart also for whatever its
अरे
politics
तब
are
तक
for.
इसका क्या है नाटू नाटू already got so much craze अब कौन सुनता है नाटू नाटू but you see you
That
understand what I'm
sequence I
talking
still remember though. It's a really
about.
terrifically directed sequence. But
Yes, yes.
anyways, also
And anyway Rajamouli has got so much amount of money right right now that he's like making a Mahesh Babu movie, which is like an Indiana Jones movie, which has Chris Hemsworth in it.
Wow.
At this point, it's like
He should just go
that,
to. I'm surprised Marvel hasn't roped him in, considering they are toiling about.
sir.
Anyways, also
I have seen Rajamouli's one of Rajamouli's earlier efforts. It's called Simhadri.
weird. No, you
That
said
movie
he's a very
broke my
weird.
brain. That movie broke my brain. That was the one time I did not rate a
We
movie for over
disagree
a
somewhere,
week.
Chris. This is one of those places.
Yes.
The trailer, I think this is your mentioning All We Imagine Is Light.
Yeah.
It is a very soothing film.
Yes.
Like even when it's filled with loneliness and alienation, it's very meditative. It draws you in.
I
Totally.
to think in the first half, I think it's almost like it's talking about the big city and the alienation of living within the big city,
Yeah.
and also within the alienation, how there is some sort of a comfort within
Of
that
course,
as well.
absolutely. The first,
Yeah.
I think the first half is a marvel.
First
Second
half is
half,
excellent.
I'm a little bit.
Excellent.
We won't
Yeah.
spoil anything about the film, but okay,
Hmm.
we're 30 minutes in. We've discussed all this. We should dive right into our films.
Yes.
Good point to I think break
We
up
should
the thing.
we should
So we can.
we
I
should
am
also do this
expect.
quickly. We should also do this quickly before
We
Varun
will.
comes in.
We won't dwell that much, but we'll begin with Sector 36. Then, depending on how Varun is placed, either go to Berlin and
Hmm.
then Rebel Ridge, or we'll do Rebel Ridge and do Berlin. Then,
Hmm.
anyways, we
Sector
begin with
36.
Sector 36. Amartya, do you want to introduce
क्यों
it, or
हाले
should I?
दिल का क्यों हाले दिल for from murder to here?
From Murder to,
Yes.
yes, Sector can't. One second.
Oh.
Sector 36 is what we are discussing. It is unofficially based on the Nithari killings, a series of murders in Noida that came to light in
Which murder two?
2006.
Which murder two was also based on, by the way,
Yes,
which is why I'm bringing up the Hale Dil connection.
yes. For whoever's unaware, Murder 2 is a
Murder
very
2
creepy
is
film.
an unofficial Murder 2 is an unofficial remake. By unofficial remake, I mean Mohit Suri literally copied Na Hong Jin's Chaser. So
I loved one of the things when I think he was asked when Ek Villain released, and he was like, "Yeah, I make films from. Of course, no. Of course, the movies I will make are inspired by films which I watch." I'm like, the difference between inspiration and just
plagiarism, sir.
copying. But okay.
Plagiarism, sir.
Anyways, I think that was I Saw the Devil, right?
Yes, I saw
Ek
the
Villain.
Ek Villain.
Yeah. So,
Which is why
anyways,
Ek Villain Returns cannot be plagiarized. That movie is so bad
oh,
shit insane that cannot be
yes.
plagiarized.
That is very true. Okay. Chris, you are doing our honors. I got shouted by my Twitter friends for disliking Sector 36.
See, I
but
don't
stand by
agree
it being
there.
really
I don't
bad.
agree there.
I think
don't
we also
it is
disagree a
real
little bit
bad.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think it is real bad. Okay, I
Yeah.
genuinely think that the okay, so this is made by the guy who co-wrote Talwar, Aditya
Just
Nimbarkar. I think.
to, yes. Sorry, I had to mention this.
Wow.
Memorable
Aditya-
moment from Shraddha Kapoor, to be honest, which is rare to find in any case.
Rare
So,
to find.
yeah,
He also has
yeah.
3-2 for that matter. But anyway,
I
so
have still not seen it. So, but anyway, go ahead. You were saying about yeah, you didn't mind Sector 36
I
right,
liked
that much.
it.
So.
I actually
Okay.
liked it.
Hmm.
I think I liked it because I think the overall sloppiness, quote unquote, of the plot, the fact that the plot doesn't move forward because of the inciting incident or anything else. The plot moves forward because the police suddenly realize that, oh, we are a corrupted bunch. Let's
Yeah.
start. And then basic investigation actually proves the point. I think, again, it's about administrative apathy, which
Sure.
I don't mind. I genuinely don't mind the fact because again, it's like if you're going to make a movie about corruption and everything and how it festers
Yeah.
evil which is already present within the fringes of society,
Hmm.
and you are equating that to a class divide, or if you want to go deeper, it doesn't go that deeper, but if you want to go deeper to caste divide or whatever,
Yeah.
movie doesn't go there. I'm just saying if you want to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that,
Movies
you can do
very
that.
like class. Everything is class
it's very
essentially.
class divide. The
Yeah.
class divide is the class divide and how classes unite under a very specific emotion. In this case it is like a very crude analogy of Kaun Banega Crorepati. That is the one
Sab
time
Banenge
all the
Crorepati, which
classes,
I actually think.
yeah.
I mean, I know they were probably to change the name for licensing stuff,
Yes,
but it was
yes.
a good change just because it works as a good ironic
It was as a good
counterpoint.
irony. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
And it's
anyways,
also like that is their dream. Like that is the one time a
yes.
poor person and a rich person, for them, that is a poor person
I
and
mean,
a
that's
rich
also
person has
kind of a,
equal chance. Yeah.
yeah, cruel dream also, right?
Cruel
Considering
dream. Yeah.
how many
Yeah.
of the sub actually get a chance is a different matter altogether. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
100%. So it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, which is why I think Vikrant Mase's character ka jo performance hai, which is
Hmm.
the Prem, the guy who is
Prem
the.
Singh is. I think every name and everything is changed, right? In terms of
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
killing. Like, there's no.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there are some
Yes.
films which officially take the names of. Like, does
Hmm.
Talwar take the official names of the.
I don't think so. I don't think
No.
so.
But it's like
Hmm.
so close to it also that it's like,
Hmm.
barely changed. But,
It's very
anyways.
apparent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, if you're going to go there, and I genuinely think that uh the fact that they are showing his character and how much, like, they aren't apologizing for anything, which they shouldn't have apologized for anything, or they shouldn't have tried to insert in backstory or anything like that. Sometimes evil is
Hmm.
just evil for the sake of
Yeah.
evil. It's like, and even if you are going to do that, don't be so redundant as to show a flashback and then in his monologue also repeat that exact sentiment. Don't do that. Like,
That is one
choose
of
anyone.
the, yeah,
Choose
absolutely. The
anyone.
flashback was I thought it was just ill placed and just not and it reduced some of the impact of the monologue because you already knew
Yes, exactly.
if he starts rattling about of that, because there's an element of Joker within his character. It's a
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
like,
100%. Yeah.
because it's this whole Joker as in the Batman thingy. Like, just the chaos and just his reasoning also, actually, for the I actually think the best scene in the film is not the central interrogation scene, and that's because a lot of how it is actually introduced in the film. The
Hmm.
scene itself is effective, spoiled a little bit by the score, which again useless. Theme will repeat
Yes.
itself in Berlin.
Hmm.
Not that much. Berlin has a semi decent
Berlin
score
has better
sometimes.
score, to be very
Yeah, yeah,
honest with
but
you.
this has a totally perfunctory score. Like, it was just like you have to slap something in to create dread, and I'm like, ye
Hmm.
slap kiya apne. But anyways, I
Hmm.
think the most chilling scene in the film
Yes, slap
is
kiya.
so, शुरू में the one scene I did actually find chilling, or I think I like two scenes a fair bit. One of them is with Vikrant Masi, where he holds up a child and he starts narrating to
Yes,
him what will happen to him and what
yes,
his
very
place in the
effective.
world. And I was like, that is chilling, both because the performance is very good and the film is quite reserved in the way it allows him to, him the space to say everything. Like, it doesn't also rely that much on the reaction shots. It's a lot to
Mm-hmm.
do with, I have to say, on the note of reaction shots, really, really bad extras in terms of, like, the performances of the extras are really bad. I'm sorry, it's that director's fault and the person who's there, but
And the person
a
who is
lot of,
hired as an extra, yes.
yeah. And I was just like, what is this? Like, come on. Like, it looks comical sometimes. Like, my main example for that was when they have to show, again, why do you have to show everything is the other thing we'll get to. But there's this whole thing where a rich kid gets kidnapped, and the way that scene is staged, I was just like,
Oh,
well,
by the
firstly,
oh, by the way, the kid is suddenly taken from the bike, and it's like
I'm
it's
like,
almost comical if you
what?
just if you just
Yeah, I'm
take
like,
away the music. If you just take away the music and put Curb Your Enthusiasm ka music, you just put the music there. It's that comical,
and
yeah.
then you get the mom doing like this, and I'm just like, what is this? Some sort of like acting? What is this? Is this some what are you doing? Like, I was just so confused in some of these scenes. But no, I was saying the good thing, one of those, and the other one was Deepak Dobriyal's setup to change, which I think
Yes.
is not that much related to the writing as it's much related to the performance of him, his
But I
wife,
also think, but I
and the
also
child.
think I bought his performance specifically. I bought the change also because
No,
specifically
I bought the
because
change, even
yeah,
though I
because
think the film rushes through it a little bit. So, but
no,
yeah,
I don't think the film rushes to it because
okay,
it is a very Indian thing to do. Like
sure.
ignore until it happens to us. तब
Sure, sure,
जाके
sure.
हम
No,
लोग
no,
को
no.
तब जाके हम लोग को खूब मिलेगा
No, no.
तब
The
जाके हम लोग
motivation
ये
is good. I just maybe what I wanted more was maybe that odd scene with the daughter and the wife more. Maybe I wanted one more scene with them. they do a
maybe.
very good job, I think, of communicating a lot within their dynamic in the small time they get. Is my I think my gripe with the build
And
up there.
Dobrial's performance, because Masi's performance is so showy,
Showy.
Dobrial's performance is also like mildly ignored, but he's also a
No, no.
great
I think
performance.
he's. Yeah, I kind of responded more to his performance.
Yeah, he's just
No,
very
not because
great.
Vikrant Massey is not great. He is great, and
He's
he's been great for
fantastic.
the longest of times in
Yeah,
this
he's
industry. I think it's
fantastic. Yeah.
yeah, it's good to know that he's getting his due.
And it's
I
also like I think it's also the fact that central interrogation scene is terrifying because of the nonchalance he is displaying. Like that is the true evil of it all. Okay,
yeah.
this is the cavalier nature. I don't care. I'm going to reveal everything because I might just go. I'm going to go and watch the game show. Who cares
So
about a
yeah,
bunch of? Who cares
I
about a
so
bunch of quote whatever?
I
So
have
it's
so
like
my issue in that scene is so the film does well in establishing Sab Banenge Karorpati as the thing which sort of links is sort of hovering over all this, right? Because that's the
hmm,
aspirational thing, and I think the film just because if it is such a big phenomena, especially in that community, I was like, but this woman has reached this stage in the game, right? Like she's reached the top stage. I'm like, I never felt that build up concurrently going on as this thing was happening. So when Vikrant Massey has this whole thing, अरे मुझे जाके देखना है ये show, उसके I understood it from his point of view. I was just like, but surely there has to be more build up to the whole thing where she is progressing, like she, that one person is progressing right through the stages, which is why he's so excited that this one person has actually the chance to become a crorepati. I'm like, but when the scene is introduced in the movie, I was like,
I think there is
I
also
couldn't
the
reconcile the thing. Yeah.
yeah, I think there is also the quote unquote laziness of the screenwriter, which is like he's taking into account people who remember what it is like to watch Kaun Banega Karopati and to
Sure.
get an excitement through that. And he is like associating that and just pushing the feeling aside because he feels that just referencing that is enough to induce emotions.
I suppose.
It's
And it's also
kind
just the
of
film is
lazy.
packed, no? Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
got so
kind of
many things
lazy.
going on.
Yeah, it's kind of lazy, but it's also kind of, I don't exactly blame him for it because we know exactly the time in which this movie is set in. So I kind of
Yeah,
understand.
well, I mean, I think the reason for my blame is because the other stuff to me was so largely uninteresting. So I was super not into the whole. This is a thing which will repeat with
I also
Berlin.
think
It's just the
I also think
cartoonish
I also think it's
evilness
the
of some of
fact.
the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
people, huh?
I also think the fact is that many people did not like Sector 36 because they were thinking, why is the plot not like the search for a serial killer and everything? I think I got into it really
Oh,
quickly
I
that
didn't
it
mind
is not.
that, but yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think I got into it really quickly that it is not about the search for the serial killer. The
yeah.
search for the serial killer is pretty apparent. He is the serial killer. It's about the apathy of it all and the bureaucratic hurdles that is going to come because of people
Ugly.
who want to
I was
maintain
thinking of
status
Ugly
quo.
and
Yes,
Talwar.
ugly and
Ugly and
talwar.
Talwar are the two things which were basically, which
Yes.
is what I've texted you saying, do we have to watch Sub Kashyap and Vishal Bharadwaj homages or things forever now? Anyways, I have a lot of comments which are about Sector 36, so I'll flag them up. Is Sector 36 really a sector in Noida, which is
Yeah,
next to
yeah, yeah.
Delhi? But yeah, but it is. I don't know if it's Sector 36.
It's not Sector
Is
36, if I'm not mistaken. It's a massive slum, right? The slum area, that
which is
entire
the
place.
other another thing I had written was I like the cinematography by and large, especially the way the film begins. I
Yes.
did feel it's a little too polished. Like it looked a little too polished. Like everything looked a little too polished to me. I was just like, it didn't feel
You can, I think the
dirty.
risk is that the risk is that if you try to go too dirty, you might end up like looking like Mesampur, which is a big
No,
problem,
no,
mind
no.
you.
Let's not go there. Yeah, absolutely. Keep yourself away from that nonsense, utter
Yes.
drivel that is.
Yes.
But sorry, that I did not expect that to come, and I'm mildly triggered by that movie. So in a way, which annoys me. Like I hate films which are this edgy
That
about
movie is
how
so edgy. It's like look at me, look at me, look at
proper
me.
film school edgy it is. I just wanted to throw a shoe at its face, honestly, when I was watching it. Which also happens in this. There's a moment which made me want to throw something at the screen, but
You
uh,
you know the
in
problem with this
Sector
movie.
36.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
problem with this movie is that it peaks at the central interrogation scene, which is a problem
Yes.
because the movie has still 30 minutes to go.
I
And
don't think
then,
it knows what to do with those 30
yes, it
minutes.
doesn't know what to do with this. So it suddenly tries to rush through. There is montage
Yeah.
sequences, there is, writings and everything, like telling time kaise ja raha hai
Yeah.
and everything. And even there at the end, there is even a lazy sort of cynicism which is harkening back to neo noir. And I'm like, why? I'm
सिनिसिज्म
like,
तो
why?
ठीक है, उसके बाद फिर बेकार को ऑप्टिमिज्म उसके बाद भी वो खींच
बेकारों
दिया
का
है कि
ऑप्टिमिज्म क्यों डाल रहा है? हाँ, I'm
I'm
like,
like,
are
if
you
you're gonna
sequelizing
commit
this?
the cynicism, then commit to it. No, why are you being all this
Are you
wishy-washy?
sequelizing this? I'm like, are you sequelizing
Please
this?
don't
करना क्या चाहते हो?
sequelize it.
हाँ.
Anyways, Chris has a lot of choice words. Let me say, I think the film does nothing new. I think it isn't a new film in any like you've got better and like like predecessors to this. I just still hold the thing that the only thing this made me do is rewatch Mindhunter, and I'm ever so grateful because that show is a bloody
Yes.
masterpiece. But you've got the shocking. I think the shocking plot is it's very interesting how people deal with shocking elements in a movie. It's
I mean,
because this
it's
movie
like,
has
see, there are
elements
many.
where I
See,
wanted it to hold back more. It
yeah,
begins right, like it's got a nice atmosphere of dread.
it holds back
Yeah,
quite
and
well in
yeah,
regarding to what to show and what not to
sure,
show. I was
yeah,
very,
yeah. Yeah,
happy about
I
it.
was
The
reminded of in the beginning of M for some reason because it's a child being in that
it's because it's
locality
a child.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got
Because
all that stuff. I'm like, oh, that's good. Like, you've got material to really build the dread, and I was just like,
सर
it
वही तो प्रॉब्लम है
dissipated.
वही तो प्रॉब्लम है पहले ही अगर एम पे चले गए तो और फिर यू हैव
That is
ओनली
also
टू गो
true. I mean,
डाउनवर्ड
but it evoked films which I really like. So, like it evoked in the sense that it didn't necessarily do it self consciously, but it probably did.
मेरा रिएक्शन पहले ही था चेजर
I've
फिर
not
उसके
seen
बाद आया
Chaser, no,
मर्डर
so.
2 बिकॉज़ उसके बाद देन उसके बाद आया मर्डर 2 सो आई एम लाइक
I
मेरा
find Murder
मेरा
2 scarier, to be very honest, but whatever.
इट इज स्कैरी इट्स अ वेरी गुड
Remember
रीमेक
for. Yeah.
इट्स अ वेरी
It's
गुड
also the fact that I
रीमेक
can't stand. I like true crime. I think it lacks its. I would suggest then watch if you want to get into this sort of stuff, Chrismo. I would suggest documentaries might be a good way to enter that.
I think the worst offenders, Chris, are the Ryan Murphy shows, like say Dahmer,
Hmm.
the Jeffrey, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, or the
Is
Lyle
that
and
the
Eddie
one with Quicksilver?
uh, yeah, Quicksilver, and the recent
Okay,
season 2 which came out, the
Evan
Lyle and
Peters.
Eric
Yeah.
Hernandez story, Monster Ka, which is those are bigger offenders. To be very honest with you, it's like it is so reveling in the cynicism and everything. It's like
Hmm.
it almost like distorts true facts just to glorify the crimes
Yeah.
and everything
No,
at
no.
this point.
Actually, what am I recommending? Watch Mindhunter. Just watch Mindhunter. Honestly, you
Yeah,
go and you might not be able to watch other stuff as much then
yeah, that's
because
the
the
risk.
quality it sets is so high. But yeah, I think
Even Fincher can't reach that quality at this point.
yeah, I
It's
don't
like,
think so. It'd be very hard for anyone to. I think that show is really, really terrific.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're going to do that, don't show it, right? Show it in the
I
news. It's
mean,
going to be a
I
big
mean,
thing,
to be
anyways.
fair, to be fair, if you're going, you have to quickly resolve it. Yeah, it's a rich kid. It's a class disparity
That
is
is the
done
whole
through that.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, class disparity. Yeah,
But to me, then just don't show that corny looking scene where he gets kidnapped. I was like, what is
exactly. Yeah,
this?
yeah,
Like,
Don't
just
show
show it through the
that.
TV. Yeah,
Don't show
like
that.
because
Yeah.
they're in the police station throughout, right? I'm like, just show them quickly divert the attention to another case, which is like a high profile case. So don't show it. It's okay. We can understand. You don't need to
There
do
are
reveals like Dark Knight Rises.
yeah, weird genre of Netflix movies we have in our hands. Movies which start out extremely well and extremely gnarly, but then it suddenly, shifts into a very predictable pattern. We had this, and then we had Bhakshak, which is another of those weird movies,
You,
which
I've
is
still
like
not seen. That's the Bhumi Pednekar one,
Bhumi
right?
Pednekar
So
movie.
yeah,
Decent movie. I mean, quite decent movie. Yeah,
yeah.
but anyway.
I only watched after Amar.
Considering the state of Hindi movies at this point, it's like
This is which movie, Devolina? Is
Sector
this
36, I think.
Sector 36? Okay, okay. Which is fine. I think even Chris did, which is why he's
Yes.
pissed. ये नहीं कि, which is fair. Like I no, I
Fair,
agree.
fair, I
I'm more on
understand.
your side only. I think I too didn't click with it, and I gradually lost more interest the more it got into
I
office
was
the
still
politics.
sticking with it
Yeah,
until those last 30 minutes where the movie felt like hell, and I'm like, what are you doing?
yeah.
Just
I
Still,
also so there's some nice, like, I was like, there's bits and like, I like the whole sub banenge crorepati thing. I like the whole Ramayan being used as a, the place where people, no, not Ramayan, the Shera being used as the festival in which the kids are kidnapped has got a nice irony to that.
hmm.
Then there is an irony to Shravan Kumar being the villain, which is a
Yes.
memorable, like, well, it's one of the most memorably poor moments, I think, for me in the film, which just tipped me the wrong. I was just like, don't, like, the way it's
Don't do
done is
this.
so corny. I'm just like,
Don't do
come
this. Yeah.
on, like, everyone. Firstly, it's so blatant that it was him for me, because it was, the film just called out Shravan Kumar there, and then the film cut to like Deepak Dobriyal doing his thing, and then the body not being found. I was like, of course, it's him. Don't treat it like some grand reveal of evil.
Like if you are going
Anyways,
to do again, it's the Ek Hasina Thi problem. It's like we know that Saif is the villain, right?
yeah,
But the story is treating it like he's not. But then Amar Mohile ka music is like blair, 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 blair.
telling
It's
you,
like
it's like
evil
full
music. I'm
on
like, what are you
genre.
doing?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That those early Shriram films have a very strong RGV hangover.
RGB effects, sir. RGB
Yeah,
effects.
yeah, which
Another
which can be
RGB
distracting.
reference. Another RGB reference in
I mean,
QI.
we
We are
we made
maintaining
it in
the
a
pattern.
negative light, so Sanjeet
Yeah.
might not be happy. Quickly resolve. I don't watch true crime. Okay, fair enough. I'm a big true crime junkie, if that makes sense. I am a big fan of that sort of genre, subgenre, which is why I think I watched Sector
the
36. So
problem
I
is
was
the
just like,
problem
whatever.
is true crime doesn't exactly translate well to movies per se. I don't remember the last time a good true crime film ever came out other than
I think I'm more
Zodiac.
interested in how films now tackle it in a way which also questions how they are tackling it, if that makes sense. So it's
Hmm.
an interrogation of the
It's like
interrogation
true,
also.
true crime going through postmodern phase.
Yeah, the show which we love but are not loving currently for this season is an example of
Yes,
that.
yes,
Only
100%. Yeah,
Murders
only
left
murders
in the.
in the
I always
building.
mess up the title, right? Anyways,
Yeah,
no, I think we've covered a fair bit. Where is Varun? I'm wondering if he's joining or
he
not. I'm
just
gonna
got in.
check.
I think he's coming in 5.
Is he? Okay. Okay.
He's
So no, we can talk more about. So no, I think my big disappointment was this whole thing about never. It's just trying to do too many things for me. It's just like, you can just
move.
like,
I
I
mean,
just
if you're going
don't
to scale
like
it, I mean, if
the.
you're going to scale it down, just scale it down further. Though at this point, it's like, it's easy. I understand why filmmakers are annoyed with people like us when we say, just scale it down. Kya hai? Well, then you're like,
No, it's
kaha
a
scale down करेंगे?
yeah.
कहाँ scale down करेंगे ये लोग?
Scale down as in simple kar do na, or like, I'm just
हाँ,
saying ki simpler for you, even in terms of setups, and like, it's the less is more thing in some like, especially in true crime, which actually less is much more, because
I think
there is so much already.
there is also a thing कि less is more का it's harder to make something which is simple. To be very honest,
Yes.
simplicity is hard. It's a
Yeah.
similar thing in writing also, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're going to articulate a thought, it's harder to articulate a thought within 6 words or less. It's easier
Of
to
course.
articulate a thought within 7 sentences. It's easier, but it's harder to just restrict it in a single line. So
Okay, I've
again,
got Varun here lurking, but I will answer Devulina's question. Actually, Varun can join us because Varun has watched the show. Hi Varun, how are you? You are no longer in
अरे
India.
ब्रिटिशर आ गया.
It
Hello
takes
sir.
a 180 days to qualify as an NRI, so I will
Okay,
not be one this year at
I
least.
am, so it's okay.
180 days के बाद are you going to be a fan of K3G and Adil Mushkil? The NRI requisite.
That's not
I
happening.
don't think Eh Dil Hai
I
Mushkil is
did
the
go to
NRI
I
thing,
did
but
go
K3G
to
is.
Soho.
Oh, you
Nice.
did.
I did go to Soho.
Nice.
Though.
I'm disappointed. I
I
didn't get
saw the theater
I didn't get a
outside which
snarky message about it.
Which one?
no, I saw the theater outside which you remember in Last Night in Soho. There's an exterior of an old
Yes,
school
yes,
60s
yes.
theater.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that actual theater. It's a bunch
Thunderball
of-
is playing, right? Or something like
Thunderball
that.
is playing in Last Night in Soho.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That's
there's
the
a-
extent to what I remember of Last Night in Soho, because I loved the first 30 minutes of that movie, but whatever.
There's a comedic revival of like the 30.
Varun, you have a question for you, and I am inclined to
We
join
are
in
also very
Arvind.
we are also very curious to know. Tell us.
As soon as
Sir,
I can
picture
operate.
शुरू होने के पहले ही खत्म ना हो जाए.
नहीं. Hopefully not. Like I'll
It is
bank
taking a
some
hiatus. It is
record
taking a
and
hiatus.
bank some stuff.
I
because
recorded a 5-hour episode. Okay, what hiatus? I want that
Sir,
episode to be
I
out.
also want that recording, but it's behind a paywall. I don't know what to do. I'll give you the login ID
I'm
if you
kidding.
want.
No,
अरे
I'm
पैसे
kidding.
पैसे लेके ले लो क्या है?
No, but
And my
you,
cards don't work. No?
Oh right.
it's okay. You organize the Quid episode, which upcoming Quid episode on Hammer Horror. That is going to be. I'm going to title it Picture Shuru slash.
Picture solution as
Whatever.
QID, you know, crossover.
Yeah, which still doesn't mean that we go on for over 3 hours. That is the limit.
No, but I'll just quickly answer, Arvind. I just started a master's today. That was my first lecture.
Yes.
So it's going
Oh,
to take
today's
me
your
a while.
first day. How was it, Varun? Let's be nice.
Congratulations, yeah. Congratulations. Yeah.
कुछ काम नहीं होता पहले दिन तो, right?
No. We had a 2-hour lecture and then a 2-hour seminar. What you saying?
Wow. Okay.
बहुत
Ah,
काम
but you
होता
are
है,
on
sir.
a
हम
on a
लोग- हम
1 year
लोग के
course or
जैसे
something,
नहीं
right?
है.
So
Yeah.
no, it's a 1 year course, right? So I guess it's more intensive also that way.
Yeah.
Devulian says congrats to Varun. Varun, congrats.
Thank
Are you
you so much.
drinking? Oh, I thought you. मुझे लगा बाहर से आप लेकर आओगे कुछ पीने का अपने
हाँ,
लिए.
sir,
पॉप
this
से
is,
डायरेक्ट ले आते हैं.
This is banana milkshake or something.
Yeah,
आप बाहर से
disappointing है.
बनाना
I thought
बनाना
Guinness-
मिल्कशेक
I thought
टॉयलेट
Guinness
पेपर
लेके
क्यों
आओ.
दिखा रहे हो भाई?
It's 4:30 in the evening.
तो टॉयलेट पेपर दिखाने की क्या जरूरत है?
अरे यार, it's kitchen towels.
अच्छा, okay, fine. Sorry.
Kitchen में बैठा हूँ.
Anyways, I think we should. What do you want us to do, Varun? Firstly, yeah, let me address that. Where is the which show was Devulina talking about? Yes, here it is.
Only murders.
Only Murders. Yeah, which Amartya has seen 4 episodes of the new season
I have
and
caught
is
up
starting to
with it,
lose.
more or less. I have caught
I-
up with it and it's losing me more or less.
And I lost me in the first episode, which is sad considering I like the 3 seasons before it quite a bit. I binged all of them. I listened to recommendations made by Varun and Amartya, and I watched it in the span of a weekend, and I really enjoyed it. But the 4th season is stretching. I think
we
stretching
have an
it
Irish
a bit.
expatriate in our chat. Huh? एक
Yes, I
Ireland का
know.
bastard. हाँ. Hello.
आप कैसे हो अमर्त्या जी? हम भी ठीक हैं संकेत.
सब ठीक है,
हम
सर,
as in
सब
me.
ठीक है, सर.
I don't know about Varun. Varun is saying that he's fine.
Yeah.
But we'll just to. I think we wrapped up Sector 36 a fair bit. You've not seen it,
Yeah.
right, Varun? No interest in seeing it. Don't like serial killers.
I'm not
Relate नहीं
fascinated
करते.
by the whole thing. I'm
हम
not
लोग का
fascinated.
मर्डर तो करते ही हो.
नहीं. I mean, in the sense that it's a bit much after a point, right? कि
Okay.
same murder को like 50 people are going to have a film
It
about
depends
it.
on, of course, the focus of it, right? Investigation. Either you show the killings or whatever. It's all.
Also,
It's everything.
in all fairness, the Nethari killings are like practically still unsolved. quote
Yeah.
unquote.
Very
So
unsolved, right? Yeah.
it's a bit cagey.
I mean, it
cagey,
ends on a cliffhanger, so I guess you can give it that credit.
doesn't it?
Or a
You
bad
did a spoiler
cliffhanger,
filled
I may
episode,
add.
no? You did a
नहीं
spoiler.
सर, नहीं सर.
Spoiler
yeah.
filled मतलब
उतना
spoiler
भी
क्या-
अच्छा नहीं है. उतना भी अच्छा नहीं है कि स्पॉइलर फील्ड एपिसोड के लिए
हाँ, आप लोग को बर्लिन बहुत अच्छी लगती है तो फिर उस पे स्पॉइलर फिल्ड कर देते हैं. एक सेकंड,
enjoyed
दिस इज माय ट्रांजिशन. You stick around for Rebel Ridge. We'll talk about it briefly, and we won't talk in spoilers. And you should watch the movie. It's very good.
This is the
Netflix.
This is
film.
the
John
Jeremy
Sonia.
Sonia movie. Yeah.
On
Rebel
Netflix.
Ridge. No,
John
yeah.
Johnson is in it, right?
Don
Yeah, Don
Johnson is the
Johnson.
villain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but
That's interesting.
yeah, but
Yeah.
Berlin, guys, by Atul Sabrawal. As I should say that he's the writer of
Jubilee.
Sanjeet's favorite show ever.
Yes.
Jubilee. I
And
love it
and
also.
a show in which and a show for the longest time I did not like that much.
Yeah, but now you do, so it's fine.
He's,
Anyways, he's the writer for
he's also the director of Dobby Deol's comeback movie,
which one? Oh my God!
Class of '83.
Oh,
Oh, I was about to say.
Why
I was about to
I
mistake
got a Bichu in the first instance only? Why do I remember that movie of all movies?
Berlin. अच्छा attempt था in spy thriller. Yeah, it was a good attempt, I would say too. I'm not sure if it works, but entirely, but it's a good. There's a lot of impressive things about it.
Yes,
I
I
didn't
agree.
click with it though. I would be on Amartya's side in saying that Khufia is a better film, much better film. But anyways, I think that is a contestable claim because I think people liked Berlin a fair bit. It's written by Atul Sabrawal. I think this name I'm going to shout out just because I think the cinematography is one of the standout things
Cinematography is
about the film.
God tier.
Sri
Yeah.
Datta Nam
Sri
Joshi.
Excellent.
Datta Nam Joshi, terrific
Yes.
cinematography in the whole film. Music by, I don't know who the background score, who's given the Sir
Just
Khufia
one
Samat.
second.
A lot of people don't like Khufia, Chris.
Sir,
It's
I
not
love
a.
Khufia. मैं compare करूँगा. I
No,
love
no.
Khufia.
The
No,
comparison to
but these are.
Khufia
But
is,
you
I
have to
think,
compare
purely
them. They are very similar in terms of the
similar films.
espionage
You are going if you are
thingy.
going for the Lakar mode anyway, which
Yeah,
this movie clearly is. Like
yeah.
at this point, it's like
Bhardwaj is
Thomas
not.
Bhardwaj. I think is more
Pakistan bashing तो बिल्कुल नहीं थी. I thought in this. To
But
me, at least, there wasn't.
I don't even think जरूरी है.
Pakistan
नहीं नहीं.
bashing. क्यों? No,
Bashing कहाँ थी इसमें?
I think the whole point of the movie is the fact that you are basically indulging in spy games, which when the decade is already flying by, it's like
Yeah,
you are laughing at those people who are still bashing in those spy games. That's
yeah.
what's
Not
going on.
that it's like about
Anyway,
relics of bygone era kind
this
of
is
stuff.
this
Yes,
is
exactly.
available on Z5
Yeah.
Yeah.
to watch now. It
A
was
bad
was
streaming
this
service. Extremely
it's a
bad
horrible
streaming service.
interface. Sorry, but like I mean, they don't sponsor us. We are not affiliated with anyone or anything, so we are allowed to freely critique without
They are
I
worrying
also
think
about
they are also like
response.
pretty they are
I
also
think
like pretty
Sanjeev
chummy
knows
with high on
someone at
films. So
Z5.
me saying this, they are
Don't
pretty
care.
chummy with
I
high
don't
on
really
films.
care
With
if he knows
me
someone.
saying this is just
If Sanjeev knows someone from Z5, he should be the first one to tell them that the interface is dog shit. It doesn't
their
even allow
interface is
your
bad. Their
cursor thing
interface is
to
bad.
vanish. So, like,
Yeah,
it's like, come on.
that's a
Anyways,
Z5
problem even
encourages
Prime
piracy.
has. That's a problem even Prime
cursor का
has.
vanish नहीं होता वो.
That's a problem with Prime has. To a certain
Okay.
degree, yeah.
Anyways, this is for anyone who's unaware. I've taken this from one of those festivals in which it was submitted. I forgot which festival.
Red Lorry or
But
Mami, one of the two.
मामी से मैंने कुछ नहीं लिया सर. मैं IST
Then
है.
Red Lorry.
हाँ तो वही होएगा फिर.
The mommy
Anyways,
slander is still going on.
I mean, yeah. What else? So we purposely didn't pay to see Buckingham Murders also because of that. So
I didn't
that was
go
also
to
odd.
watch it.
Hindala has seen it and she thought it was strictly average. I believe her. So I think it's fine.
Strictly average and 2 star is a bit too much. Then again, it's her. क्या ही बोल सकते हैं.
Pakistan
continue.
wala angle. So, but I think the film is not about Pakistan. It's about how we
Sin is not
manufacture
about
truths.
any angle. Sin is not about any angle, to be very honest with you. It's
Anyways,
about the
संजीत Z5 के टॉप एग्जीक्यूटिव तो जानता है तो बोले ना भाई फिर. Anyways, मामी में
Sanjeev knows
स्टैंडिंग
Subhash
ओवेशन मिला था.
Chandra.
वो तो हर ही चीज में सिर्फ स्टैंड
आर्मी
करके
में
तो बहुत
हर
लोग
चीज
देख
का
रहे थे
स्टैंडिंग
पिक्चर.
ओवेशन मिलता है. सॉरी.
लोगों को बैठने की टिकट्स नहीं मिली तो स्टैंडिंग ओवेशन ही तो मिलेगा.
No, and if like people are going to be like Rajat
Wow.
Kapoor and bring their friends, then तो सब तुम्हारे दोस्त तुम्हारे लिए ताली बजाएंगे ना.
Sorry, this is not never getting over because I think there's just fundamental issues with the way the thing was programmed and organized and everything. Yes, Hindala, of course, I'm very much present here. Thank you for that. Trying to rewatch in K3G, so I skipped. Good for you. Good for everyone. They should do this.
Which is why Chris today jumped in the Twitter Cup feud about K3G because one woman
was
was
this?
literally one moment was literally like, if adults like K3G now, your movie opinions are invalid. I'm like, this sounds very
Great.
familiar. Who has said this?
You
This
like
sounds
it?
very no. I'm saying we sounded like this before. With regards to conversation with you about Karan Johar, then both
But
me and
that's
Varun
okay.
realized कि कोई फायदा नहीं है.
हाँ
So
नहीं कोई
we
फायदा नहीं है ना
basically-
सुनने तो
कोई
अगर आप
फायदा नहीं
रिएक्शन
है.
ऐसा दोगे तो सुनेगा भी तो नहीं ना कोई.
But we were only ever trying to get a rise out of him. We were not trying to
Yes.
get him to change his opinion.
Yes,
I won't
exactly.
change my opinion.
Exactly.
Exactly. See,
Yeah. I mean, unless I find substantial evidence, if I see his movies again and I find, maybe I change and maybe I don't like it, but like right
the
now I
fact
don't.
that- no,
Doesn't
the
matter.
point.
But वो rhetoric ही घटिया है, I think.
The point I'm
You
trying
can't
to
say
make
all
is,
this and be
the point I'm trying to
expected
make
to
is
take
Chris
seriously.
jumped into that.
Yeah.
You know, online battle, which is a bad decision, Chris. You shouldn't jump into
Don't
Twitter
leave
battles.
it.
No point.
It's yeah. Anyways,
So
back to
this is a
Berlin,
shit
guys.
fest, like, don't
Berlin,
get
not
Oh, hun.
and as the film jokes about it, it's not Germany ka Berlin. It's the it's
a cafe.
It's a cafe in New Delhi, which very much reminds me of like Madras Cafe, right? That was the whole vibe of that movie also.
Arey,
Like,
It
it's
reminds me
if you-
very much of India Coffee House. I think that was the
Yeah.
point. Not place
Okay.
India Coffee House.
in the review, Varun, I was like, the concept of Berlin itself, the fact that this is a meeting ground of all the secret agencies, Okay, and the fact, and to ensure that no secrets get out of the cafe, you are hiring
Hmm.
people who are deaf, and how to put this with sounding politically correct. Anyway, doesn't matter. So, and can't
I was
speak.
about to, sorry, I was about to ask Ahindrullah, and I'm 100% going to ask you because I know you interviewed Rahul Bose, of all people.
Oh, don't go there.
Uh,
Do
I
not
will
go
go there
there.
because I thought the performance was memorably bad. But
I
anyways,
know you have a lot.
But
I know you have a lot to say, Hindrila. I know
please do.
because
I'm
you.
I'm very. You can spill. Listen, we don't have as big of an audience that we need to contain ourselves with all this. So we are happy to remain in. You can happily divulge the information here.
Yes.
And apart Shakti Khurana, okay, who's part very good, part not good at all, which is also a discussion we will have.
the
Anyways, the film
moment
is
he
set
becomes
in
wide-eyed is when he fucks up.
anything loud he does is just
Yeah.
a total
Complete doubt.
disaster, I thought.
Complete disaster.
But
I
he
think
plays
the
timid very
problem
well.
which I think the problem which I was telling to Varun K, the concept of Berlin overall, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Carol Reed's The Third Man, in how Vienna is being taken as, the midway point for both East Germany, West Germany, and all of the factions within that era of what is going on. So it's
Yeah,
like it reminded me of that, which is why I was disappointed somewhat with the movie K. If the movie is supposed to be the outsider's gaze into the spy games and the
yeah.
fact that what it is, it suddenly starts to become so invested in the plot. Keep in mind, I am the first person who is always going to say कि genre movie पे plot is important because noir मतलब plot है. I'm the
Thank
first
good
person to ever
Lord
say that.
Ahindra is not here, but yes,
He's
in
here.
not talking
Yes.
here. I mean, yes, yeah,
Yes. But it's also the fact that this is the one time I'm like, your entire conceit is, look at these people, look at these old fogies, look at these spy games, this is nonsense,
yeah,
especially considering the entire country is going through liberalization. Yes, I
yeah.
know the entire country is going through liberalization. Why are you stuck in the past? But then it is so focused on the overall plot of the spy game, which is not exactly that well constructed anyway. So I was like, why are you delving so much into this? Just be out of the surface, maintain that outsider gaze, because that's what you actually want to do.
That's the heart of the movie, also.
That's
No,
the
I mean,
heart
I
of the
think
movie,
the
which
heart,
should
the
have been.
relationship between Apar Shakti Khurana and Ishfaq Singh's character is the heart of the movie.
Yes.
So and how that develops and how one like the sacrifices one makes for the a lot of doublings, and this might be a very Atul, because I was reminded a lot of Jubilee leftovers in Berlin, because Jubilee has that whole Cold War thing coming
Oh,
through in some
100%.
scenes
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all that, right? I know it's set in a different
I mean,
era, but
that's
like
the most hackneyed bit of Jubilee if you watch the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, it
yeah,
is.
but
It is. It is.
yeah, but it's
It is.
Whole
about
VistaVision panorama, Panavision bullshit.
no, but it's
Yeah.
about an external force, sort of. In Smith, the external force is barely it's like a facade essentially for internal politics to uh, destroy anyone who's doing much, actually, because everyone within those Indian intelligence bureaus is which is interesting because I just was at Rebel Ridge. They are basically having a pissing contest in some ways, right?
Yes.
And then it's this whole thing which how they use ordinary people then to basically get their means and to the ends, and like fuck the other people over essentially,
Which is very
whoever
Hitchcocky.
the
Which
pawn
is
is.
very Hitchcockian also, if you think about it, because that was
Okay,
the entire conceit of a Hitchcock. Hitchcock. That's the entire Hitchcock conceit anyway. Is like
sure.
ordinary
Please
person
don't mention
stuck.
Hitchcock. Dhruv
I
चढ़ जाएगा फिर से मेरे ऊपर.
नहीं
मैंने
नहीं
कुछ बोला
नहीं,
ही नहीं.
मैंने कंसीट के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ, मैं कुछ नहीं कह रहा इस मूवी के बारे में.
I
But
think some of the like the way I loved the beginning. I thought the opening 15 minutes were like terrific. I was like terrific in the sense that I was like great atmosphere, great sense of place.
I think the entire point of the visual palette itself, how the buildings were shot, the overall, I
Yeah,
think the term I used was brutalist architecture. It felt
yeah,
very much like that. So I was
yeah.
like, yeah, this is good, right? And
Harkening back to like Coppola's conversation a little bit with the tape recorders and how it's cutting back and forth
Tinker
between.
Tailor, Tinker Tailor,
And
which is like the
Tinker
most
Tailor is the biggest
collaborative.
I
biggest one,
mean,
of
so
course.
I was at one of the screenings, right,
Yeah.
last year at Mami. So
Yes.
Yes, this is one
Namjoshi
of the few
and
films you caught
yeah,
at
outside the
Mami.
competition section.
Yes.
So Sabarwal and Namjoshi practically said that Hoyte van
Yeah.
Hoytema and Thomas Alfredson's work on Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy was a major uh, part
धुआं
of
कम
like
था बस यहाँ पे, right?
how they wanted to shoot it. And then Sabharwal started talking about like his childhood in Agra and I think uh, tier two towns in central India and UP and everywhere. And I think somebody also mentioned, or maybe it was I who mentioned Chandigarh, because if you look at how Chandigarh is constructed, it's very brutalist Soviet cement blocks,
Yeah.
very, very, very hyper formalist almost to the point of I could shave my face on the corner of a building type. It's that sort of sharply cut.
Yeah.
So
Two
they
really
did everything
terrific
to
shots with Apar Shakti Khurana in the beginning and how it mirrors it towards the end. Both of them are really
Yes,
terrific.
yes. In standing in the stairway, right?
Yeah,
Standing in the
stairway.
walkway and the stairway.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
one of which is basically him engulfed by two buildings, almost
Yes,
like
yes.
crushed by them, and then the second, the free, like the final
He's
image, since we are
free.
in
He's
spoilers,
free because
free but without
sunrise,
direction.
without direction. Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
get two really good images. I'm like, there's some really good things. I'm like, this it's so well shot. Sometimes it's like there's a lot of split diopters. I'm like, you're having fun
Yes.
with cinematography also. I'm like, you're doing
Again, it's a
inve-
great looking movie. It's really great looking, and I think
yeah,
the entire treatment of the movie overall is something to be admired. Again, uh, the basic problem is that he tries to be a deconstruction or a commentary of the genre itself, but also trying to be a full-on genre
both
film overall. You can't do both. You are not. I'm
unless
unless. Oh,
unless
come
the next
on.
movie we are going to talk about. So
Yes.
exactly. Yeah, it's
Yes.
both.
I mean, like, come on.
Yeah,
But
it's
again,
very hard.
it's
Yeah,
very hard. It's very,
yeah,
very hard. You can't do
yeah,
that so easily.
yeah,
It's easy to write it also, but you can't do that so easily
yeah.
because at the closest you are going to go back to lazy tropes. Like you have to fill up Upper Shakti Khurana's character, so you introduce a mother figure within the phone ka voice, which is good, but then you are introducing that familial connection, which just it's not that big, but it's
Yeah,
also like it's so, how do I put this, it's so unnecessary.
yeah.
uh,
I mean,
it
it's just like another layer, I guess, personal layer to his story, whatever that
Yeah,
means,
which
right?
I
So
don't think it's required. It's again the
I don't
sector
think it is. Yeah,
36 ka problem. It's again the
yeah,
sector 36 ka problem. You don't need redundancies. That is a redundancy. You
yeah.
don't need to do
Oh,
that.
there's a load of redundancy. It's just that the film stops to explain whatever's happened. I'm just like, it's. I wouldn't mind that in a movie, but this is too. It's like caught between being a very, as they said, Thomas Alfredson is one of the and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy in general are the inspirations, but there's this whole thing of them trying to be that, but then also trying to be like supremely crowd pleasing. And like having a narrative that feels crowd pleasing, especially with the whole
But
India is
by the way,
great.
I
Like
don't know how crowd pleasing the narrative actually is. To be very
it
honest,
isn't in
is
the
it
end,
that
but it
crowd
has
pleasing?
it has moments which try to be like, oh, this is our big moment. I mean, it can undercut it, of course, later, but like I just never bought any of the big moments. The pre-interval sequence is embarrassing. I'm sorry, but like I was just
That
like
fight scene.
shocked at how badly it was acted by both the actors, Apar Shakti Khurana and Rahul Bose, when they are at the near the lake,
Here's
where
the
he
thing.
take.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
Here's the thing I will say about Rahul Bose. Extremely broad caricature type of a character, more or less. But it's like if anybody is going to act like a smug a-hole, I think that character itself is in his bones in a way. It's like pouring out of his body. It's
I
that
don't know.
easy for him to play that role.
I
So
just never found him menacing. I just found him
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
completely.
the
not.
thing, right? He's supposed to be a spy master who's out of his depth, but he still has some of his wits about him. He just
Yes.
appears to be like any other oily bureaucrat.
Yeah.
That's the narrative issue, na. That is the main
No,
narrative
but
issue
that's
overall.
also an acting issue. He
I
plays it
think
with
so.
that permanent sort of sneer on his face, kind of,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
I
unless
am
he's directed
villain.
to do that. I don't know that. So,
I think,
I
like,
mean,
yeah,
see, we are
maybe.
going to critique. I mean, how much will we critique after a point, right? Whether we are critiquing
No,
the
no,
direction.
I'm not talking.
what are you
I'm
hiding,
not talking.
Ahindullah?
I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying. I even told you this. He is very comfortable playing roles of that type.
He's
So
great in Dil Dhadakne Do, but there's a difference to that.
It's not a
Dil is
difficult
a
character.
mama's in Dil Dharakne Do he's a mama's boy and a sleazeball. It's both at the same time. But
In
anyway,
this, he's a sleazeball and a moron. Like it's moron and Mama's boy. How different are they? Like it's fairly.
You tell us. You
wow.
are the only child
You
here.
are the one. You
I'm
tell
not.
us.
I'm not that type of mother's. Anyways,
But
maybe
again,
maybe I'll start considering myself as a moron also now.
sir, that is
But
easier. Sir, that is easier always. Yeah.
okay. No, I was just like so taken out by every like performance tick he
I
had. I was
think
just
I
like,
think Upper Shakti Khurana in a higher register, I think it's like he doesn't work. He doesn't get there at all. It's like
there's
the
that scene where
commercial
he
register.
bursts out shouting at Rahul Bose towards the end. I was like, what is this? Like, did Atul Sabrawal not see this and just decide to like, cut it out and do whatever else? Or maybe just cut him out of the frame and just have his voice.
Can
Also,
I
I
can I crack a joke here? Wait, I have a one.
Bolo.
It's apt that he should be called Upper Shakti because his brother has spent his career playing guys who
sir,
have problems with lower Shakti.
Oh
as a
God.
person who loves bad jokes, this is
This is
impeccable.
terrific. Yeah.
This is
But
impeccable.
there were scenes in this, though, I was like, he looks like distractingly too similar to Ayushman. I was just
Ayushmann.
like,
You
yeah,
know,
he
one of
would
the
be better
issues.
in this role, I think.
I think so too. One of the issues about this movie is also the fact
I
that
think
you
Rajkumar Rao would
had.
be best, actually. But, anyways,
See,
yeah.
here's the conceit. The conceit is you are interrogating a guy who is deaf and is unable to speak. So you're bringing a translator who uses sign language. You
Yeah.
can do the. I'm sorry to bring this movie up. You can do the Rashomon effect overall, in which
Sure.
communication is through layers. So you can shift the layers and just change communication. You can do that. The
And
movie
it's
doesn't
about
do that.
and it's
The
about
movie doesn't do
manufacturing
that.
truth, right? It's about
Yeah,
lies.
movie tries
Everything
in
is a
one.
lie, essentially,
The movie does
right?
that once, in which he
Hmm.
is saying he's trying to transmit a different message by pushing the file ka cover so that Rahul Bose's character
The one time where the
yeah,
li- the the camera crosses the line because he's crossed the line of
cross the line.
interrogation or
Yes,
whatever.
yes,
I'm
yes, yes,
like,
yes.
these are inventive touches. I'm like, you're doing something interesting with the camera. You've clearly thought about it. I'm just like,
Yeah,
but that's followed
he's
by a scene where he looks like a freaking comical,
Mora.
no, like a B movie villain peering through the glass.
He's executing interesting ideas, but he's not executing them completely. He is
Yeah.
executing them somewhat and then just pulling back again, and then choosing the worst option to go through with it, which is like, yeah,
Strange. Varun, you sing the praises. I think you were more complimentary about it. Anyways, his performance felt quite is this Apar Shakti? I think he gets worse. Then let me just say that because he has bigger, louder moments to pull off later on. Does Apar Shakti do disguise? Like,
no, he doesn't. I wish
no.
he did.
Okay. I think he wanted to play a really, really okay. So this is Rahul Bose.
I'm going to keep
Um,
quiet.
he is very unlikable in the
I'm
movie.
going to
Yes.
keep quiet.
Not in a menacing sense. He's unlikable as a distracting, overly scenery chewing sort of performer. But anyways, I had an issue with most performances in this film. I think except for Ishwak Singh. Ishwak Singh was great throughout, I thought. Anyways, Varun, you haven't said much, which is why I'm going to allow
I
you.
think
So
I
I
think I think Varun's points. I had read his review. I think the fact that Varun points which Varun liked, I think I also liked those instances because it is giving a different lens of the 90s, which
Sure.
most film or literature pertaining to the 90s doesn't do about our country. But again, it's like use that meta commentary, maintain that meta commentary. Don't go into the genre of it all. But again,
No,
I'm
the
not
film
going.
commits fully to doing the genre stuff, especially
Yeah,
towards
yeah, yeah.
the latter
Yeah.
stages. Anyways, Varun, yeah, say what you were saying.
no, this is like proper TV anti-TVification of like the 90s. Right? This
Yes,
is
yes, 100%.
presenting
Yeah.
them as a sordid,
Yeah.
slightly grotesque period of time where there wasn't much
Paranoid, right?
political
Everything's
thought.
paranoid also. It
No,
looks
also,
very.
I mean, if you think about it from a geopolitical perspective, India had lost the one country, the only country it had truly tied itself to since
Yeah.
independence, and
Yes.
Yeah.
was now sort of fluttering around looking for allies. And mind you, this is at a time when India is hitting up its nuclear program to test for a second time. There is a dead prime minister. There is an unpopular war. There is Kashmir. There are all these things. So it's a very fascinating sort of spectrum of ideas.
There
Which
is a palpable tension in the air, which I think the movie commits to, which I
yeah,
agree it does quite well.
but
Yeah.
like you said, right? The performances are just too distracting. Akash Shakti doesn't know which note he wants to operate on. Rahul
Yes.
was just hamming the shit out of it. I don't know why Kabir Bedi is there, though. I like the touch of because it's
He
an
is,
ode
but
to
he,
Yes,
he,
Octopussy.
because the
yeah.
Octopussy connection. I like that. I like that connection. The
I
Octopussy
don't
connection.
think
What
I
is the
don't
name of the two? Even the two officers in the other wing are named so comically, like they rhyme. It's like, but not rhyme, but when you speak like the name, I was like, they are out of like Tismar Khan. Like
yeah.
it's like
It was
Malik
kind
and
of like
Mehta. I'm like Malik and Mehta sounds like a jewelry store.
Malik and Mehta sound like Hindi commercial movie ka villains before Salim Javed.
So I think this is, it's got all this sort of very B movie almost
yeah.
sensibilities sometimes, in it. And I was just like, I don't know if he's doing it intentionally or not. It's really just not working though. Except for, I think the interrogation stuff is quite nice throughout.
Yeah, I mean the film is like you said, right? Well shot throughout,
Yeah.
consistently like very well shot and stuff.
Yeah.
But after point you are asking for there to be more to it.
Yes,
There
exactly.
needs to be like Anupriya Goenka. I think is like first of all she's a very mediocre actor. Secondly, she doesn't
I
have
think
the
I've
if you are
not seen
going
her
to
in
play,
much.
role.
What else
if you are
is she
going to
been
play
in?
Honey Trap, she was in War. She was also in, I
She was
think,
in War.
Tiger
she was in
Zinda
War.
Hai,
She was in Tiger Zinda Hai. She was in a lot of stuff.
Padmavat.
Okay.
Padmavat. She was in Padmavat. Yes.
What was she in Padmavat? One of
The
the
first wife.
wax statues. Oh,
Don't
okay.
know.
Jesus Christ, Dhruv.
Yeah, but that's
You're
the whole
still
movie.
intel.
Everyone's a back statue in that movie except for Ranveer Singh, who's
अरे ये
the
कहाँ से
opposite of
पद्मावत
it.
स्लेंडर बन गया अरे
That
Hey,
movie deserves slander, though, no?
this is actually Aditi Rao Haidari eraser. She's fantastic in that. I mean,
yes
Jim Sun
She's
is
the only
also
good person in that movie. Yeah,
the only good soul who you feel for. Like,
yeah.
I don't feel anything for the mythical queen of Mewar. That's
Yeah,
because
because
she's mythical.
she's a
Berlin
Madame
guys
Tussauds statue, anyways.
Berlin guys
So yeah, so
Berlin, yes.
I quite enjoyed the film. I don't know whether I would still enjoy it as much if I watched it again.
At home.
I don't know. Yeah,
out of the theatrical experience
no,
The
forget that.
wonderful theatrical experience.
yes
I think it's also the fact that Mami was so exhausting as a film festival to keep up with that you were clutching at straws, right? Like,
एक
You
अच्छा
also had
movie
seen
मिल चुका
Agra.
है एक अच्छा movie you have seen
Had you
Agra.
already seen Agra, or did you see
yeah,
it after this? You had
Agra
already
and
seen
God.
Agra.
Oh God, Varun,
Okay.
I'm so sympathetic towards you now. Of course, you would like Berlin.
and Hindi
Competent
Dark
movie,
also. Sanjeev's favorite film.
competent movie. देखना after that dog shit is something else. मतलब that is
Yeah.
nirvana.
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway,
So
so no, but you're dilly dallying on how much you liked it now.
no, I don't know. See, I've not rewatched it. It's been what
Hmm.
10 days since it came out, but I've not watched a
Yeah.
movie in like 3 weeks anyway. So it's a bit like also outside. After a year, the film will have dated. Like at that time, they were talking about a theatrical release in Feb of 24.
Hmm.
Like
This is because
right,
it seems like it has those moments which are like, it's
There
geared
is a
towards
literal
all those.
interval. There is a literal interval title card. Like it's
Yeah.
meant to be a theatrical release. anyway.
theatrical release, and I don't think Z was confident because even though they made lots of money on like, I mean, their ROI was significant on Wealth Fail. The other stuff that they backed, I think, has not been.
I don't think this would have done well. It's
As-
too
I think
methodically
no. I
placed.
think it might have. I think it might have. actually.
Really?
I
Okay.
think it might.
Depends on the
Other-
budget also. Then I don't know how much is spent on it.
I don't think it's a very expensive film because it's not
Okay.
shot in Delhi, to my knowledge, extensively.
Okay.
It's shot only partially there. But I
They
like
must have had to recreate some stuff, right? So,
no, you can still find like Chandigarh is a great place to shoot for all
sure.
this stuff.
Okay.
Kanpur, Agra, you can.
उस पर थोड़ा सा कलर टोन भी चेंज कर दो, थोड़ा grungy, turquoisey, blue, green तो लगता ही है सब कुछ.
ग्रीन
So,
तो वैसे भी है कलर
No,
पैलेट भी तो
like for instance, Bharadwaj's difficulty in recreating Delhi of 2004, which is just 20 years ago in Khufia, was clear in the film because there were things he missed, and he's usually pretty nifty with detail and stuff, right? But he was missing stuff in Heather also, like Swift Desire chal rahi hai, Heather set in the mid 90s. It's like it's basic stuff that gets you caught,
yeah.
basic. right?
Hmm.
But it doesn't overall derail the film because
Yeah.
over there the plot or the drama
There's a
itself
lot of
is
stuff
more
going on
integral.
which works for you, right? I mean,
Yeah, the
emotionally
drama
also.
is more
Yeah.
integral.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over
Yes,
here,
understand.
because the details matter so much, the film sort of gets lost
I was
after a point.
surprised that the film also divulged in, a lot of what is happening type of setup, like through radios. Because I was
That's
like,
the whole point, nah. That's
no,
the
but
thing.
but
Nah.
there was a lot of the thing is him investigating or showing how Ishwak Singh's character is investigating material like
Hmm, hmm.
newspapers and all that, and I'm like, that's a great way of setting up your what is happening in the world just through
Yeah.
visuals. You don't need
Yeah, yeah.
what is happening. So I'm like, you all, as you said, redundancies. It's redundancies which are also there, which I thought were whatever. Again, I didn't dislike it. I just thought it was the
I like
I think
it
performances
it's a
quite a
really
good
bit.
stuck
film.
out.
I think it's
I
a
think it's a
good
very
film.
good again. It's like and this is not even considering the caveat ki Bollywood has a dog shit here, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
ki even as a movie itself, I think it's a very good film. It's
Okay.
not great by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good. I
Still is
genuinely
today.
I
yes.
mean, वो relative, as Varun said, he was after Agra, so it's all that
Yeah,
stuff
I
also. So.
understand, Varun. Completely get it. Yeah.
No, but like I mean that doesn't always work, right? Like by that logic, given how
I mean, I
tired
liked
I was,
Animal more because of Sam Bahadur. So,
yeah, so you
yeah.
may not like it now, but like I
Huh.
watched
मत देखो
Archie's
सारे
after I
तीन
I
मत
watched
will
देखो
not
Sam
watch
Bahadur.
it now. But anyways,
मत
I
देखो
watched I watched Archie's after Sam Bahadur, right? And I was like, okay, I went
you
from
retrospectively
a
liked Sam
boring
Bahadur
film.
more.
I went from boring film to a truly terrible film. And from there I went to an even worse film in the form of Donkey. And
yikes.
A film
until
which you
sort of
didn't hate first, but okay.
initially no, because I was also caught up in
To
the
you
whole.
though, Deborina, I'm sure there's other
No, no, take.
ways.
It's a cheap streaming service anyway. Who cares?
I
Does
I
it
do
work in the states, or is it
That's a bigger
just?
question. That's a bigger
I
question.
think all of them work except for Hotstar. Only Hotstar is the.
Hotstar is because of the Hulu thing. No?
Yes.
Yeah. So
So
I mean,
no,
why would
so
you have Hotstar anyway? You can just use
yes,
Hulu, right? So yeah.
Hulu. So I mean, Donkey was kind of like okay, this is fine, this is tolerable in comparison to Jawan, perhaps because there were not like a million cuts a second. And then like within an hour, I disliked it.
I'm going to sound like Azad here. You haven't seen Atlee movies, sir. You need to be,
I don't want to
indulged in the
also.
poison. You need to be indulged in the poison.
Anyways, shall we move away from Poison to something which is very, very, very good?
Yes, please.
We won't take up that much time just because Varun hasn't seen it also, and I would want people to just experience this simply because I was really impressed by being
Green
thrown
Room.
sideways by the way the movie moves. I was just like, I
I'm
didn't
not that
know.
much of a fan of Green Room. I like it.
I think for me it's like I would say this is probably his best
This is
made
his best
film.
work. This is best work.
I probably overrated Blue Ruin when I watched it a long time back, right? So
I don't.
uh,
I watched Blue Ruin very recently. I think I
yeah,
understand what it is going for, a pared down version, but I
this
think it
is
is also too meandering to a certain degree. That
sure.
movie.
I think this the filmmaker is Jeremy Saunier. I think Saunier.
Jeremy Sonia, yeah.
Saunier. He's made 3 films before this. No, sorry, 4 films before this.
Four films. He
One
has
of
made
them, one of
Murder
them's
Party. He's
a
made
murder
Murder
part.
Party, Blue Ruin, Green Room, and now this Rebel
No,
Ridge.
no, no. Then 5. Then he's also made Hold the Dark,
Oh,
which is
Hold the
not
Dark,
very
which I
good.
have to see. Which I have to see.
Not very good.
Huh.
It's on Netflix, I think.
Yeah,
Also,
it's
but
on Netflix.
anyways, all of them are very interesting. Even if you don't love them, I think as people who are interested in films, they hold great interest in how they play with genre tropes
They are
and
quote unquote genre deconstructions in the way that they are not overtly genre deconstructionists. They are
yes,
more like they are focusing on the details to a certain degree.
yes,
Like
yeah,
if you're going to make a revenge movie, he's going to show you the logistics of what makes up a revenge movie and how hard it actually is. That was what Blue Ruin was.
yes,
Green Room was if you're going to make a home invasion movie while also commenting on white supremacy,
neo-Nazi,
white
yeah,
supremacy basically. He's going to show you the ridiculousness of it all as well
yeah,
as the difficulty of a home invasion movie and how normal people suffer through it,
yeah,
which is why Rebel Ridge is spectacular. It is
yeah,
spectacular because
This is both, as you said. Like, how do you do genre deconstruction and construction?
This is like if people haven't seen First Blood, because that is easily the closest comparison one can make.
Rambo, right?
So,
So this is,
yeah,
yeah.
the first Rambo movie, Sylvester
Yes.
Stallone, and
Yeah.
the best Rambo movie, by the way.
Yeah.
So the first Rambo movie is basically John Rambo, who is a Vietnam War veteran,
Yeah.
comes back to the United States after the war. He's walking into a small town when the sheriff of the town passes him, and the sheriff of the town insults him,
Hmm.
calling him that a useless war veteran, and he shouldn't have come back,
Sure.
because he's a waste of space and everything.
Hmm.
For the returning war veteran suffering from PTSD, that insult sets him off in a rage, and he
Yeah.
basically begins to attack the sheriff and through that extent the town. It
Sure.
is almost harrowing in how efficiently he's doing this, and
Yeah.
Stallone is terrifying in it. He's
Yeah.
terrifying in it.
So he's
So
he's the villain.
no, he's the hero. He's the
Okay.
lead, but he
Yeah.
is not what you call. He's not what he will become in the sequels. The super. He's not. Mind you, First Blood came out before Reagan, or I think immediately during Reagan's presidency. But
Early 80s,
Reaganomics,
right?
yeah, but
Or
Reaganomics hasn't started yet. So it's
sure.
like he hasn't reached the Reaganomics section of it all yet, or the Reagan
Yeah.
era version, which would lead to Chuck Norris's career, with Man of Action and everything. People were still affected by the war, and that is why what is going on through small towns, and the reaction to small towns, the paranoia of it, that was shown very well in First Blood. I'm bringing First Blood up because this is Rebel Ridge is First Blood, but Rebel Ridge is confronting you about race.
Yeah.
If you can tell the synopsis of Rebel Ridge somewhat, then we can talk about
I
it.
have, yes, I have it here. It's firstly directed, written, and edited by Jeremy Saunier, which is impressive in itself.
Impressive.
Shot by
Auteur.
David, or proper auteur thingy. DOP is David Gallego, music by Brooke Blair and Will Blair. I don't know if they are connected to Macon Blair, who's been a regular
Maybe.
collaborator
Maybe,
of
yeah.
Jeremy Saunier. I'm surprised he
He's
didn't
an
just
actor.
rear his
Yeah.
head somewhere here. I
He's
could
an
easily
actor,
imagine
he's
him.
also a writer. He's also a
Yeah.
co-screenwriter sometimes. Yeah.
I am surprised, which role I can envision him in as, even though this actor
Emery
was
Cohen.
real.
Emery Cohen.
Oh
the
yeah,
Emery
I was
Cohen
like,
role, yeah.
I could so easily envision him, Emery Cohen is great because I wanted him to get absolutely
Absolutely
railroaded by
kicked, yes,
by the protagonist in this. But anyways, the plot is a former Marine grapples his way through a web of small town corruption when an attempt to post bail for his cousin escalates into a violent standoff with the local police chief.
So
Very
if you look
simple
at
in that
the
sense,
synopsis-
but yeah.
If you look at the synopsis, it sounds very much like a Rambo clone, because that's exactly
Yes.
what happens in Rambo also.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing though, it's dealing with a very real legal procedure called civil
Yeah.
asset forfeiture.
Forfeiture, yeah.
Yeah, it's dealing with a very real thing, and as the movie explains it, if you listen to what the movie is saying, you will be like, how the hell is this thing legal? But it is legal.
Yeah. What do I think the second Anna Sophia Robb, who's the second sort
Anna
of
yes.
lead performer in this, she says it's the law, it's not legal, right, or something like that, right?
Yes, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic line. It's like,
Yeah.
But and the construction of the movie is key. This is a guy who is cycling and going to cross this town, and he's going towards the administrative office to post bail for his cousin, which is
Yeah.
what he has in his backpack. He is stopped by a petrol police car, and
Well,
because
stopped as in like impeded upon more than
because he is because of his race.
yeah.
We know it is very clear, it is very evident
Yeah.
that he stopped because of his race, and his money is being taken away, and it is being taken away,
And it's
due to
assumed that
civil
he's using it for drug dealing, even
Yes.
though
even though he's clearly not using it. And
yeah.
then what happens, we see, because we are following him, we see that he goes into the town, he tries to plead his case. He meets Anna Sophia Robb's character, who tells him to get legal help or whatever. Then he's trying to get back the money. It's very
Yeah.
process oriented in that regard, and then slowly and
I
steadily
think the
we see
first
that
hour is like terrific. Like whatever up till the point where the crucial decision is made to leave or to go,
Yeah,
to like to
the
stay or go,
the
that after that you can argue till the climax how much of it works or not. But I think
the winning
the
point of the movie, the
yeah,
point of the movie which makes this movie great is the fact that for an action movie, it doesn't have too much blood.
it has
It is
almost
an
no
action
blood.
movie. It
Yeah,
is an action movie where restraint is key because that is
yeah,
what he's trained for.
yeah.
He's trained
Jiu-jitsu
for,
training, right?
yeah, yeah.
You
He's
know, when
not
I say this, what flashback I get, Amartya? Can you
what?
guess?
No, I
जाने जा.
वो बाहर ट्रेन कर रहा है पहाड़ों के रास्ते पे.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry.
We have
Sorry to throw
we have
you.
we have one of the founders here. We have one of the founders here. Arvind was stating we have one of the founders of QID in the chat.
Who do we have?
Hemant.
Oh, sorry. I didn't. I was like, what is going on? Okay, Amartya's vampire confirmed is confirmed. Uncle. Why so, Hemant? Uh, no, actually, because we hate blood. I thought we are just like civil people, somewhat.
Yeah.
I guess that's you're the American here in technical
Yes.
terms. So I think
Technical
your
terms, you're
comments
the
make
American.
sense.
Yes.
Anyway.
No, the thing about this movie is it's all about is disarming. His entire modus operandi is disarming and trying to ensure that you are going to enact create a mode of inaction for your opponent
Yeah.
without drawing blood or without being direct about it.
You can't essentially be incarcerated for murder, right? Like, I mean, they are
Yes,
anyways trying to incarcerate him for any possible reason. So
any possible reason.
yeah,
And Aaron Pierre, who is like 6'2" or 6'3", he is a movie star.
yeah,
He is a movie star. It's like
yeah. I mean,
this
if
role
you
was
actually, it's interesting to compare this with a Berlin actually, because I've watched them back to back, and the big moments which he has in this, they are so well. They've played at such a wonderful pitch by him. You know
played
that
by
it's
him.
like
And the way
yeah,
he's delivering those dialogues, like
yeah,
very quickly, very efficiently.
yeah,
Like the acronym you have to worry about is PACE, PACE,
pace,
and then
yeah,
he's voicing out that acronym and how he's doing it, and
yeah,
then he's referencing to what is going on. It's
yeah.
fantastically written and it's fantastically
Even
directed.
like really crowd pleasing stuff, right? There's one of those moments where he's like, earlier we talked about de-escalation. Uh,
Yes.
well, about that, nah, or like whatever. Like it's like really
Oh,
nonchalant, but in a
it's
cool
like
way.
he's telling the police officer, corrupt chief of police, played by Don
Yeah,
Johnson, in his
very well. Yeah.
sleaziest best, and they're
But
telling him
this
that
is again, as we spoke about Berlin, this is good sleaze. Like I think this was like it's like effective. He was menacing in a
understated way. Yeah,
understated way. Yeah,
he's menacing because he knows how to operate under this. His character knows how to operate
yeah.
beneath the fringes of the law.
He's sort of inherited some of the bureaucratic sort of language
Yes.
of it, right? So yeah. Anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
you were saying.
So he calls and he's like, I think we should try to talk it out, hash out a plan together. And then Don Johnson's character is like, now that's the most intelligent thing I've heard you say.
Yeah.
And then he interrupts and says, and then I was like, nah. That was such a crowd pleasing moment. I literally clapped. I was watching it
Yeah.
and after I like clapped. That
Yeah.
is so
No, it's
good.
it's playing at the sort of underdog thing, but like it's because all the characters, if you see how much this film is against sort of
and this
the
movie and
police
this movie is
system and
this movie is increasing your tension because you have seen so many underdog movies. You know that
yeah.
the tension is going to burst and you're expecting it to burst because Aaron Pierre is so physically imposing. You
Yeah.
think that he's going to
Oh, I
do
love
something.
how scared they are once they
Yeah,
start to
they are
reveal
very scared.
information about him, right?
That
And they're just
Wikipedia
like,
page.
and the Wikipedia page where they're like, first they're like, they discover information where he's not served, and they're like, oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I think Don Johnson's like, my heart skipped a beat for a moment,
Yeah.
and then the police officer in the station reveals what all he's trained for, and then they literally pissed.
And then Emery
pants
Cohen's
all
character
over.
is like, put some space between yourself.
Yeah.
And
It's got
even
some
in his
really,
performance, and even
I
in his
love,
performance, Even then his performance, like Don Johnson's character puts the gun out and he's like, he stops his
Yeah.
hand and he's like, let's not do that. I'm like,
Yeah, a lot of it. I love how it's actually, we were talking about the cutting. A lot of it is one of those what you say sometimes associate with Fincher. Like, every
yes,
action,
it's the motion
ha-
cutting. It's like
motion.
every
Yeah,
motion of the character is corresponds to the edit, and it
yeah,
works
yeah,
fabulously here. And
yeah.
also how he shoots the action. He's not shooting the action like he's cutting quickly. He's like he's
No, it's
holding it
really
steady.
good. It's really
Yeah,
neat. It's really
yeah,
clinical, formally well done. Like, I was just like, this is because the whole action set piece towards the end, like the last 20
30
to
minutes.
25 to 30 minutes, I was just like, this is terrific. Like, because it's built up so much also to that point. My only
I think
criticism would be it loses steam
it loses
post
steam when it starts to describe what the entire legalese of it
legal
all.
stuff. Yes, when it has to do the exposition, I think it loses steam. The only I
Which is
actually quite liked
which I
this
can't
thing.
exactly blame. Which I can't
Blame, you
exactly
can't
blame
blame, but I think the
because
way in
Sonia
which,
chose the topic. Sonia chose the
yeah,
topic. And Sonia is
yeah,
again he's disguising a legal drama within the garb of a
yeah,
thriller, within the
yeah,
garb of an action thriller. And
action
again,
thriller, yeah,
it's very hard to do. The
yeah.
fact that he's balancing it out so
Yeah,
effectively
to
is a
pull
marvel.
both of them off, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
it's very easy for one to undercut the other. Is the big thing,
Yes.
right? Because if you go too real, you lose the thrills of the action
Yes.
film. And I would say I was a bit disappointed by the resolution that Emery Cohen's Stephen Land gets. I wanted the door to be slammed across the face or whatever. Like, that's what reveals something about your lust for violence also in these films, which is why
Yes.
I compared it to Bakurao, and I actually thought of Hot Fuzz at one point because of just the town violence, and of course that's in a comedic register. This is in a different register, but those films deliver on the brutality because it's almost like these people have brutalized a lot of other people, so that almost in this it's still a step back because
It's very
it's more
clinical.
strategic,
Is
right?
it?
He
Again,
can't kill people.
when he's shooting, all the guns are either blanks or
Yeah,
he's shooting smoke bombs. It's
yeah,
like
I love that. Loved that
he's
touch
using
also. Yeah,
non-lethal. He's using non-lethal rounds. He's not using lethal rounds.
yeah,
But then when he's bringing again that scene, I know whenever you think about the movie, you think about that scene of him walking while unloading the shotgun.
unloading the gun.
That is
Yeah,
like terrifying. Like and
yeah,
how he's moving, that is
yeah.
terrifying. That scene, and then he
Oh, he
throws the shotgun at his
totally
face.
and breaks the like the three for people he really hurts with his hands. There,
Yes.
like he actually like is like the pent up frustration sort of gets to him, and he totally goes all in on hitting. I was surprised he didn't like absolutely.
It's like a commentary of it's like an anti John Wick because
Yeah,
for a fact that this character, if he go and when the John Wick register, he's going to bust heads and kill everybody within a fraction of a second. It
yeah,
won't take any time at all.
yeah,
But again, it's his training. Like he's so used to de-escalation that because that's what he's doing. But again, and I think Sonia also builds up the fact that he's strong. He can
yes.
kill, he can destroy bodies, but he can't destroy bureaucracy. So he will have
Bureaucracy,
to
yeah.
use his
Legal
brain.
system is that's the Anna Sophia Robb's character, right? That's the
Yeah.
whole. They are
And
a
how they
combination. They are working together to break a system, try to,
and
or like
yeah,
alter it.
how Anna Sophia Robb's character is again led astray. That is also pretty
Yeah.
terrifying in
Oh,
how the
yeah, it
story.
is. I
Yeah.
actually really like the bits where, because in a traditional film like this, there's a moment, we won't spoil specifics, but there's a moment which happens around the 1 hour mark, which is like, that's it, that's your motivation, right? That's your clear motivation to go back and wreak havoc on everything and everyone. And the film is like, no. If you
No, we are
think
not
I'm
doing
gonna,
that.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you think I'm gonna go back just to expose that your stupid ass village is corrupt, I don't need to do that. It reminds me a bit of Mad Max, the character of Mad Max. It's he's supremely self-serving in one way, right? Like it's like
Yes.
he says also, my goal in the training has always been self-preservation, not exposing other things. I need to protect myself and the people who I care for. But then
It's
he sort
also
of
the movie also deals
changes.
with like associated imagery. Like
Hmm.
when she goes into that restaurant,
Yeah.
which Aaron Pierce character is associated with. We see the
Oh, I loved
owner
the
of the
scene.
restaurant. Yeah, we see the
Yeah.
owner of the restaurant, and he's talking, and they are like, "Which war did you serve in?" He's like, "The Korean War," but I was on the opposite side, and I'm like,
I love that.
"Yes."
I laughed out loud at that. I was like, she's like, thank you for serving us. And he's like,
And he's like, "I was
he's
on the
Chinese. He
opposite side."
served from the opposite side. And I was just like, that's such a great moment.
But again,
Again, it's,
it is disseminating the usual tropes of what you expect, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is
Without being alienating, which is the big thing.
yes,
Because it's
yeah.
very
You
easy
can,
to alienate.
if you deconstruct too much, which Zack Snyder does a lot. If you
He
deconstruct too much,
deconstructs. I thought he was the
his entire
builder.
oeuvre is deconstructing. His
Really?
entire
I've not
oeuvre is,
followed that much. So
yeah, which is why he adapted Watchmen, Watchmen, the ultimate comic about deconstruction of comic books.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, but again, I think if you deconstruct it too much, it runs the risk of alienating the audience. As much as I love Man of Steel, I understand why people don't like it. So there is a
I'm
balancing act.
nodding my head in approval to the people who don't like it, but yes.
There is a balancing act to it all. So
Yeah.
here I think he's balancing it pretty well. Again, it's like the fact that you're dealing with a topic like civil asset forfeiture, you can
Yeah. And
only
it goes pretty much bare, like proper bare bones into it, like into the
yeah,
topic and the specifics of it.
you can only make something as legal as this so interestingly. The only other movie that made topics which are so academic, so interesting is The Big Shot, and the way they did it is by
Yes,
introducing interstitials of actors and other people
that's
sitting in
the one
contact.
place where his overcranked sensibilities, I think, have actually worked pretty well.
Adam McKay's,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then it's just gotten up to the point of exhausting with the other
Don't
films or
look up.
like ineffective. I think Vice is worse, but anyways,
Vice is worse.
yeah.
Vice is offensively worse. Vice is like
Yeah.
literally, yeah.
Though I do, I remember one of the moments in Vice which I did laugh out loud at, which was technical
The movie ending suddenly, and
twist.
then you're like, are you kidding me?
Yes, yeah, yeah. I was
What
like,
do you think
okay,
we are?
fine, whatever. No, but this is different. This to me is, I think, the reference points to me. I kept on thinking back to Bacurau. I don't know if you've seen. It's a
Yeah, I have
Brazilian.
seen Bakura. I've
You've
seen
seen.
Bakura.
So it's a Brazilian film, but that one it begins as a social realist sort of thing about a town, and then builds and builds and builds, and then becomes essentially Quentin Tarantino movie, a
Yes,
better Quentin
without the
Tarantino
blood,
movie.
without the blood,
Yeah, but violent.
or
Like
the
it
or the
feels
curse,
violent.
or
Yeah, but
the
it feels
curses.
violent.
Yes,
Because it's Vice is a Ken. Okay.
sir. Ken Burns को इतना insult मत करो, please.
Yeah, I
Please.
agree with Amartya. Ken Burns is pretty good.
Masterful
Even though
documentarian and a
even though
very
he
good high school
goes more,
teacher.
yeah,
And a very
yeah.
good high school teacher.
You've
Yeah.
watched the whole Vietnam
I
thing,
haven't
right?
seen the whole Vietnam War
You haven't seen the
documentary.
whole. It's like all of his work is exhaustive, like in its detail, and it's just
Both
whatever. he wants to
both
do.
literally and figuratively.
It's
All of
okay.
his
I have no issues with topics like these. Sometimes need that level of detail only. So then go
especially
for
the
it.
Vietnam War. Especially
Yeah.
Vietnam War.
Every
You need
topic. I
that.
mean, in some ways, you can go exhaustive, to be honest. But yeah.
Hmm.
No, but I thought this was. I just finished it. I was like, I hate that I saved watching Rebel Ridge for the end, just because I wanted to read more about what Sony had in mind, what all he decided. He's a fascinating filmmaker.
He's a very,
I'm
very,
very.
very, very interesting filmmaker. Very, very interesting
Yeah,
genre filmmaker.
I
And
think
what
Rebel
he's
Ridge is done fairly well on Netflix,
yes, in
right? Like
Netflix, on
yeah.
Netflix, yeah, he does done
I
well.
hope he gets more projects, either with
It
them
took
or
6 years to be made primarily because John Boyega was supposed to be the lead, but then Boyega walked out of the movie
Really,
because of creative differences. Apparently,
really. Okay.
apparently he had a personal commitment or something. But
We just criticize. I mean, I criticize it. Sorry, Hemant. I hold that is so like. I don't know. It felt so artsily bland to me. Like this was maybe if we talk about the deconstruction thing, overtaking construction. I would say
maybe
this is the one where it happened for me.
I haven't seen
It
it
has a
yet. I
great
need to
action
see it.
sequence though also in it.
Hmm.
So yeah, but it has
I
like one of
think
those
I think
hair pulling out endings where it's just like, what are you doing? It's
I
no,
think
you don't need to be ambiguous.
after listening to the criticism of Hold the Dark, I
Okay,
think a better
interesting.
version, yeah, the better version of Hold the Dark is the gray. That's what it
I
feels
mean
like.
that ending also pisses people off a lot, right?
Yes. The Joe
Yeah,
Carnahan movie. Yes,
yeah.
produced by Adi
Which was
Shankar.
produced essentially, which was publicized as Liam Neeson versus the Wolves, but was
Yes.
like actual wolves, not
Not
whatever.
not
I'm
George
pretty
Clooney,
sure
not
people would
George
have
Clooney and Brad Pitt, not George Clooney and Brad
not
Pitt in
Wolves, the movie
Yes.
which is releasing this
Yes.
week, but we will
This
not be
week.
discussing that. We are discussing
We are not.
Tumbad. We're discussing
I
Tumbad.
think we can discuss, but anyway, doesn't matter.
Tumbad and Wolves, because both of them are about.
There is no connection, don't worry.
Okay, fine. You know what movie I want to watch before Wolves? Not the Oceans movies. I want to watch Burn After Reading again for some reason.
Yes.
Anyway, it's really Liam Neeson. Isn't it always, Hemant?
Uh,
Schindler's List, Taken, everything.
how is
Even that
Taken versus himself? Taken is not versus himself. Taken is
versus
very
us.
simple.
Taken is versus us
Taken is
progressively.
those are the sequels. Those are the
Sequels, yeah.
sequels.
Yeah, those are against us and humanity.
Taken 3 and Taken 3 definitely.
My
Taken 2
God,
I
that
will
was.
always Taken 2 I will always remember that sequence of Liam Neeson throwing grenades on other roofs to understand to understand where his daughter is imprisoned. I'm like ये क्या logic है?
That's like the stupid Europe thriller, but at least you can see stuff in that. In Taken 3, you can't.
Taken 3
So,
you can't see anything.
yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, is Liam. Is it versus. I thought the editing is complimenting him. Just like, who
Complimenting
cares?
his age.
Neither the editing cares, neither Neeson cares. Even, I don't think even people cared. I don't think it made that much
I
money.
think Neeson ka after Taken Neeson basically created so many Taken lights that even the sequels fell short of all
Sinners.
that.
But some of them have like really pompous titles
Unknown is
also.
not bad. Unknown is not bad.
Those are
Unknown.
the ones made by that.
Trauma College Sarah who made non-stop. Just
Yes,
take me
yes.
have his remake.
Non-stop is so stupid. Yes, I like
Yes.
it.
Yes.
But
Non-stop
yeah.
ka remake is also very stupid, but I like
You
it.
this Siddharth Malhotra star, no?
Yes,
You
yes.
said, yeah,
Yodha.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
Anyways,
stupid, but I like it.
yeah, but I think our recommendation on Rebel Ridge is entirely the opposite end of it. Then, because I think it's properly like a serious movie, but it knows its crowd pleasing beats also amazingly well. I think it was just excellent.
Since we are with the Liam Neeson trend, the best Liam Neeson movie post Taken, which is basically I thought would be Taken light, but it isn't because it is very dark. It is neo noir. A Walk Among the Tombstones.
Yeah, he's made a lot of these things. I've not seen any of them.
A
How are
Walk
these
Among the
things?
Tombstones is directed by Scott Frank, who made Monsieur Spade, who made the
Black
Queen's
Mass.
Gambit. Queen's Gambit.
Oh no, okay, Black Mass is that really boring
Scott
filmmaker.
Cooper.
Sorry,
Scott
Scott Cooper. Sorry, Scott Cooper. I didn't mean it that way, but I do find your films quite boring. But
Scott Frank made a Walk Among
Queen's
the
Gambit,
Tombstones.
right? You said.
Yeah, he made that movie, A Walk Among the Tombstones, which is basically Liam Neeson being a hard-boiled detective. It's a neo noir. It's
Didn't
very
he make a
violent.
Didn't he make a noir film you watched last year? I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, Marlowe.
Marlowe, yes.
That was
How
very
was?
bad.
Okay.
That was very bad. Yeah, no, this neo noir has Dan Stevens in it
Oh,
in one of his very early roles.
that's the other movie I know you watched The Guest recently.
I watched The Guest. I really
Rebel
liked The
Ridge.
Guest.
Rebel Ridge has some, in terms of at least body like
It has
he's
very
different,
guest.
but
It has very guest energy. The guest energy.
it has.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
this is a better utilization of it. The Guest is much trashier. This isn't
Guest
trashy.
is trash. I wrote in my review that Adam Wingard is basically a smarter version of J.J. Abrams. Like J.J. Abrams wishes he could be as smart as Adam Wingard. And
Wow.
J.J. Abrams is just dumb.
He's not, well, he's much richer. Would you
Yes.
be richer or smarter? That's a,
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
But he destroyed many franchises, which I can't forgive. Both Star Wars
well,
and Star
yeah.
Trek. So
you
know,
liked
fuck
first
off.
Star Trek, right? Or no?
I love the first Star Trek. But after
Into
that,
Darkness commits the sin, right? But after that, he
Yes.
didn't make the Beyond or whatever.
Thank God. Yes, thank God.
Well, people like Beyond, right? I think all the Star Trek.
No,
the
I don't think
Trekkies
many
like
people
it or
like
no.
Beyond. I like Beyond. Yeah, the Trekkies somewhat like Beyond. Yes.
Because it goes back to like Star Trek is what.
Old
Because Simon,
school-
I
old
know
school.
about it because Simon Pegg co-wrote it.
Yes, Simon Pegg was a massive Star Trek fan. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, on all that later, Varun has vanished. He had said 10 minutes. He's probably just vanished for this whole episode, which is fine. We've been terrific, I think, with our economy today. We've covered 3 films, controversies, and everything under the amount of time we usually do for one film, and a lot of nonsense we do. So I guess we should be coming back every 3 weeks as opposed to every week to discuss
Yes.
stuff. Super 8. Okay, so Hemant has some
Super 8
J.J.
is,
Abrams
yeah, it's not
defense.
bad. Yeah. Super 8 is
Isn't
not
it
bad.
like a Spielberg homage?
Isn't his entire filmography Spielberg
Oh,
homages? Yeah.
Beyond is better than Into Darkness.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah,
Into
I
Darkness.
agree. 100% agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Any day. It's also one
uh,
of the better Justin Lin movies. After Fast Five, it is
Fast
Star
and
Trek. Yeah,
Fast Five
it's
very
Star
good.
Trek.
It's one of the few fast movies I really like. Fast
Yeah.
in not in terms of pacing, in terms of the Fast franchise.
Yes.
Anyways, he is Sasta Spielberg.
He is,
That's
he is. I think even he will agree, which is the bigger
I
problem.
I am only disappointed. I will forever remember him for shoehorning in Cloverfield into a film which I really like. But
Which are we
anyways,
talking about?
10 Cloverfield Lane, of which the
But that was
ending you
Dan
like.
Trachtenberg, right? That was Dan
Yeah, but
Trachtenberg, right?
J.J. Abrams, to make it marketable, that slapped up the
I liked that
Clo-
last sequence. I really liked it. I don't know why
No,
you
no,
don't like it. I
I
liked
really
it.
don't like it. Anyways, Fast
Yeah.
X bowling ball.
Oh Jesus Christ! That was I
I have
called
not
it.
seen
I
it.
called
No.
it the Miley Cyrus का एक music video था ना, Wrecking Ball. It's basically
Wow.
Wrecking Ball
Okay.
version. Yeah.
Anyways, I think we've covered all these films. I hope you please watch Rebel Ridge if you haven't. You know, uh,
Yes.
I know it won't make any buzz at the awards because it's too, I don't know, genre literate for it. Like I don't know if
I
films.
don't. I don't need it to. I don't need it to
Neither do
make any
I.
buzz.
Yeah, no,
I don't
please,
need it
no,
to
no.
make
I
any
just
buzz.
don't want it to
I need
be
Sonia.
lost.
Yeah, I need Sonia to make movies instead of suddenly diving into True Detective season 3 and then getting into
Oh, he
arguments with
was in
Nick Pizzolatto.
season 3.
He directed the first 2 episodes. Then Nick Pizzolatto was like, you are taking my space. I don't need you." And I'm like, "Cool, man." Sonia was also like, "Cool, man. I'm going by." So
Oh,
then
I
he
didn't know this.
leaves.
So if he's making it, I'm actually quite interested in seeing that. Please discuss expectations from
Sir,
Sir
Sasta Bahubali set in ocean. Sure, man.
Sanjeev. You come and discuss it. Okay, I am
I'm
not
not
going to the
discussing.
cinema.
I'm not watching it also. I don't
I am
care.
not watching Tumbad in the cinema. My movie hiatus for the cinemas will end with Joker, Folly A Due or Due or whatever
You
it
know
is.
what? I'm going to be very controversial here. I don't know if I will see that movie.
I need you to be here. Who else will discuss it with me? Actually,
अरे
Aryan said
संजीत
he
को
is good.
अरे आर्यन
Sanjeev
को ले
free भी
आओ
तो होना चाहिए.
हाँ,
Watch
आर्यन को ले
it.
आओ.
You are the comic book guy.
That movie is not taking any inspiration from any comic book. That movie is anti-comic book. That
Okay.
movie, I think Todd Phillips himself said, you know,
I mean, thank you, Devulina, you for showing the enthusiasm. I hope we can every week like this. But no, I enjoyed today's episode a fair bit myself.
मेरा कोई
Jigra,
expectation, मेरा कोई expectation नहीं है
you are
उस movie से.
wrong people, Arvind. Amartya is the Vasanwala
Vasan Bala
disliker.
hater. Yes.
I am a
Hater.
skeptic, and Mr. Pixel Baba is
A
the
lover.
savior lover. Yeah. But anyways, I don't have expectations. I've not seen the
Moby
trailer.
Dick starring NTR. Wow.
Okay. I'm out for Gaga. Yeah. I mean, why not Phoenix? Phoenix is also nice. The only drawback about this movie is the director, I feel. For me, at least. So,
At this point, it's
uh,
Phoenix also.
I am not going to the cinema to watch. Sorry. I've seen the movie. I have no intention of going to the cinema to watch it. I have not seen a lot of movies, Sanjeev, which I wanted to watch in the cinema. Tumbad I love, but I don't think I need to go to the cinema to watch. Hollywood Reporter India dropping a round table soon. So that's their beginning, I think, right? I
Hollywood
assume.
Reporter India, I don't have a job. Please hire me. Thank you.
Also, my big anticipation for October is bad.
Oh yeah, obviously. Himesh ka
Okay.
comeback. Obviously. See,
Is
now
Jigra
that's
remake of Gumrah? I don't know. He likes to use inspirations all over, so I'm not sure.
Don't care. Don't about Sasta.
इतना
Don't care about
animosity
Sasta
इतना
Sriram
जल्दी.
Raghavan. Don't care about Sasta Sriram Raghavan. Do not.
As
Really
cruel
don't.
as that statement is, I would. It's also true. But anyways, expectations out of life. So for doing
Like I
which song?
still don't get. Like I still don't get the Monica Oh My Darling Love. I really don't. That
I
is
don't love
one
it.
movie. Just
I don't mind it, but I don't love it.
that is one
No.
movie. Jiska register I did not hit with at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can totally understand that. I also think it's fun for me in an empty sort of way, not in any
Hmm.
substantial. After what he did to Rod, I mean, yeah, fine. I understand that. I mean, I love Todd Haynes to the heavens and beyond, but
Here's the
like,
thing. Here's the
yeah,
thing. Shyamalan split. Split. Apparently, McAvoy's role was supposed to be done by Phoenix, but Phoenix bailed. McAvoy had 2 weeks to
interesting.
come up. McAvoy had
Maga
two
was
weeks to
damn good
prepare
in
for
that
it.
movie. Apparently, he's
McAvoy
great
had
in
two
Speak No
weeks.
Evil.
Yeah, he's apparently the remake is good. I was like, Jesus
I'm
Christ, wait, what?
shocked. Yeah, I'm just like, this is shocking to me. Anyways, we might discuss it on
McAvoy
one of our
being
horror
good is
movie
not
catch
shock.
ups. No, the
McAvoy being
movie,
good
yeah,
is
like
not
it
shock.
released
Yeah.
2 years back, the foreign film release. It's not
Hmm.
like the English remake did it's not a very audience friendly film to remake. It's very
I think
odd.
they changed some things about it to make
No,
it
they've
more.
changed the whole ending. I read.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
okay.
it's fully changed. They can't go with that ending of the first one. They would lose the audience in a day. Like it'll basically turn the cinema score from B minus to F directly. It's that sort of ending. But anyways, after what he they no next week we are definitely discussing Tumbad as of now, unless Devara has something which Sanjeet wants to come and discuss. I am happy to sit out.
I'm not discussing
Um,
because I'm not watching it. जितना भी पैसा वो कोई
I mean,
मुझे दे, I'm
exactly.
not
I'm not
watching
gonna
it.
no. I'm not gonna discuss it because I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
But Tumbad I've seen and I will rewatch at home. But you went and watched
I,
it, na, in the cinema.
I have rewatched it.
Did you go
Yes.
into the
At
cinema
home.
watch it? Or at
At
home?
home. I was
Terrific
sick.
movie.
I was sick.
Okay, but terrific movie, right?
Terrific movie. I gave it a
Yeah,
4.5. I don't
yeah,
give 4.5s to movies.
yeah. So you
Yes.
will go with that. But yeah, we have lots of things
October is
planned out.
Devara versus Jigra.
Abhi to
October
nahi,
is
isn't Devara coming next week?
27 September. Yeah.
That's when all the re-releases will basically go
नहीं
from the cinemas. Okay.
मतलब इस साल
Um,
बॉलीवुड का क्या हाल हो चुका है कि हर री रिलीज हर वीक एक री रिलीज हो रहा है.
When is it
Oh,
releasing, Chris? Sorry, I'm totally out of it. Out of the loop of
another
what's
movie
releasing.
I don't care. Another movie I don't care about.
When is it releasing, Chris? Please inform. He'll promote everything, I
He
think.
will promote everything. He will promote it.
Oh,
October 11.
they're releasing the same week. I have Jigra planned for that week. Let's see how that week turns out. I would happily not discuss any of this and discuss horror films all month, but we will discuss Jigra probably. So
Also,
we are still. I don't have.
Jigra ka color palette. Jigra ka color palette. Why does it look like a Korean movie?
Or maybe we can combine Jigra and Control, because I've not tabled in Control at all. For I'm
Oh.
curious. My
Vikramaditya
curiosity is high
Motwane.
for the filmmaker in the dumps because of the star, but whatever. I'm always curious whatever he's making.
Bring in Ahindila. She watched Call Me Bay.
She liked it, no?
No.
No, not in an empty sort of Emily in
She
Paris
liked it
way.
in an empty sort of way, in that she can just put it in the background. That's what
हाँ
I've heard
मतलब
from
वो
everybody else.
वही which is the appeal ना. अब यही सब चलता है. हैंडल तो करना पड़ेगा.
Handle करना पड़ेगा. I'm sorry. You have to handle Ananya Pandey. You have to handle Janvi Kapoor. Nepo
Especially if
babies.
you're defending Karan Johar, you have to handle her a lot. I also watched kind of painful. Okay, Tumbad is scary, which is great. We want more scary horror films to come out from India. Goldfish is the other one. Yeah, it's
Kalki
released
Quetlin. Yeah.
in Delhi. It is released. I don't know what the movie is about. I'm
So
sorry,
it's
I've been totally out of the loop. Yeah.
As for Arvind, Vettayan is another movie, yes, which has Amitabh Bachchan and Rajnikant on opposite sides of the fence, which
We
is
also
another
have
South movie.
Megalopolis coming out. Not
On
here.
27th, this week.
Aryan will report to us how he
Aryan will
felt
report.
about
Aryan
it.
has also seen The Substance and loved it. So, yeah.
I'm very excited for that movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I
That is
really
one
like
movie
the
might
first
get
curly.
Revenge.
Oof, it's so good,
Yes.
so good. It looks like a Korean
Arey,
film. Okay.
Jigra.
Acha, Jigra, huh? Okay. Anyways, no one's doing reels for us nowadays. Like Sanjeet is busy, so I let it slide over 2 hours just because we were having fun
Sanjeet is
discussing
too
other
busy.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sanjeet is too busy.
Go
Sanjeet
watch
is
it,
too
Hemant.
busy.
Go
You
watch
are in
it.
the country. What are you doing?
I didn't know it's got that wide a release.
Yes.
It's got. I think that's the model, Devolina, if I'm not wrong.
Similar
That's the
to
model they're
American
trying to ape only. So yeah, whatever.
I'm
But yeah,
going to
a lot of
sound
stuff.
I'm going to sound extremely assholey here, but I'm sorry. I think Karan Johar's bread and butter at this point is going to be that.
Yeah, that is.
He's going to fall into that coffee with Karan mode. Even in
Unfortunate as
his,
this is, I will also agree. I mean, I've not been a fan of whatever he's doing production wise recently, so I can't say any. I would not be defending him in that bracket because I understand why he's doing it. I just
don't care.
don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch. Go tell us how it is. You and Aryan maybe can do an episode on the substance. It's a horror month in any case. Do it. Like, I'll edit it as usual.
It's getting dangerously to the point of being overhyped at this point. It's dangerously getting me
Yeah.
overhyped. It's like,
Substance. Music
yeah,
makes me the most angry. Yeah. This is background score. Tak to shelved, right?
it
I
won't
mean,
come. It won't
it's
come.
shelved. Yeah.
Unless Karan Johar ka series which is making for Netflix is basically Takht ka extended version. If he's
पहले
doing
पैसे
that,
तो वापस लाने दो एक बार वो जो सारे ब्रह्मास्त्र में गए थे वो तो वापस आ जाएं पहले
वो आ जाएगा क्या है?
anyways
वो आ
चलो ठीक
जाएगा.
है I think we've discussed a lot of films today. We've discussed a lot of stuff that's coming out. We'll definitely be back next week discussing Tumbad. I'm excited about Halloween month starting. We have a lot of stuff planned. The Shining 100% is planned. कुछ हो ना हो उस पे तो एपिसोड हो ही रहा है. So all that is, but I have stuff planned out for that month. We are always excited for horror movie month and the month that follows in November. That's our
That
jam
is my
very
month.
much. That November is basically your month, yeah.
Yes.
But I'll happily piggyback and watch a lot more if I can. But yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
Anyway.
Suspiria.
Blink Twice I haven't heard good things about though, so I'm very curious.
I just saw the trailer and I was like, I know exactly what this movie is. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch it. Like, I'm like, I know what this is. It's one of those. I don't know about all this. I've not seen him in public, Devolina, but I think he's making an appearance in.
He's making enough appearances to ensure that we don't miss him in public,
That is his whole shtick. He leads multiple lives.
Yes.
He has multiple public personas. Is what I meant also. So Blink versus kind of meh. Don't bother. Okay, I heard very much. Knives
It's
Out.
very much like Epstein. It's very much like Jeffrey Epstein ka story, basically kind of like a commentary on that. So
Who
yeah.
Karan Johar is doing a reality show. He's already hosts. He's a host, right, for all of that stuff. Emmy winning show. I don't know.
Sir, Arvind is saying, sir, he's going through a midlife crisis, basically.
Who?
Karan Johar. Yeah.
I don't. Again, those are things about directors
If
or
you're
actors.
if you're dealing with volatile generation like Gen Z, I'm sorry, Chris. If you're dealing with such a volatile generation like Gen Z and you want to hang out with them all the time, of course you're going to feel so old and you're going to ensure that you're going to mimic them all the time. That's what happens. क्या कर सकते
No, I'm also. I have as soon as it seeps into the movies, I'll start complaining about it. But as much as he can separate those for me, I have no
sorry.
issues.
I'm sorry. I'm going to sound assholeish again. Movie तो बनाने दो.
वो तो
Movie
नहीं
बनाता
बनाएगा.
कहाँ है वो?
He takes a lot of time. Anyways, doesn't matter. It's called The Traitors. I think.
Oh yeah. That
What they're
was,
remaking it in Hindi.
Yeah, they're remaking it. Yeah,
Oh.
I remember it now.
Night Manager was such a smash hit that now they'll remake everything, right? On that note, that was a great. That was a great note. It was like not a mic drop, but like a mic, whatever.
Sir, ये Gen Z slander हर बार. Sir, I have a friend who slanders मेरा millennial version anyway, all the time.
Sure.
So
Okay. Anyways, next week we've already told you, and next week we have Joker tabled. So I basically was
you're
had
expecting
enough time to waste to make thumbnails for some of the upcoming weeks, just to make sure we don't cancel the episode. So
कुछ
Amrit
नहीं
Chag got
Chris,
remade.
कुछ नहीं Chris, कुछ बिगाड़ा नहीं है आपने. It's just you are the only representative I currently have.
Here,
कुछ नहीं कर-
yes. Yeah. Anyways,
If you are that pissed off, you can call me ancient. Angela does that anyway. It's fine.
yeah. So
Varun does that anyway. Thank God Varun is in UK. At least
Yeah,
ज़्यादा
yeah.
सुनने को नहीं मिलता है वो.
him and Amartya have the onus for making the new Hammer horror का podcast if we ever do it in the next month. So
सर
him
मेरा
more
कोई
so than
होगा तो नहीं है।
Amartya. Him more so than Amartya. I already said last stream. याद मेरा मजाक उड़ाते हो all the time. Do you like? I wouldn't say I do it, but sure. You have one supporter, Chris. But then अपन हमारे movie taste हैं ऐसे, so you got to be prepared, right? For all this, so it's okay.
You guys brought up
But
Tismar Khan in a legitimate live stream. I am sorry.
we
मजाक
brought it up
उड़ाऊंगा।
in a favorites of the last month. Let's be very clear about it.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you so much for listening to everyone. Thank you so much for consistently engaging in the discussion today. We had a great time discussing these films. Again, I would reiterate, please watch Rebel Ridge on Netflix.
Yes.
And
Please
एक
do.
लॉयल लिसनर की कीमत जानते हैं, क्रिस
हम
जानते हैं,
हम जानते
हम
हैं
जानते
हम रमेश बाबू नहीं है लेकिन हम जानते हैं।
जानते हैं. But yes, thank you and खत्म.